Wait, do you want to see something exciting? Well, we had 1 minute of testing the minimalist background I had to speedily set up. I did in fact forget to set up any audio on that one, so I didn't have audio capture there, but... Hello. We have a little bit of chaos. Less than a lot of companies today, oh my goodness. I feel like everything's been down, but that's what happens when Google has a bad day. Wait, I should say hello to everyone. Okay. Where does today start? Hello, Jake. First to arrive. Very speedy. Thank you for the hydrate and the stretch. I couldn't find them in the queue yet, but I just assumed they would be there. Wow, Luigi. Oh, I forgot that I changed the toggles so the mustache is permanent. Let me unwire myself. There you go. Oops, a daisy. Oh, hi, Happy Phantom. Love that. Oh, thank you. My brain didn't see the notification. I just have a little pop-up that appears in OBS that I built that goes, wow, now. And so I didn't realize that was going to be a zero context wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, hi Jim, hi Snoogle, hi Cliff. How are you all doing? Oh, early cyborg, hello. I think you were here before stream started. We need a bigger team to keep it on for longer? I'd accept that, but how much would that cost? And then, would I have to deal with the fiasco of... Actually, no, it could be separate toggleable scenes. Yeah, I could set that up. But what's the cost of a continuous wah? I wouldn't just be able to sit there going, wah, Luigi. It would have to... it would have to just be continuous mustache, not continuous noises. There were so many better ways for me to explain that than... This does not bode well for my thinking capabilities for today. Are we all excited? Hello, Dust. Hello, As. All come in. Once again, I am very sorry that we're starting late. This time it wasn't my fault, or even my internet service provider's fault. I would like to blame Google, Twitch, and the 500 platforms that I run different OBS plugins through for being down. But we're back. I even have my chat overlay. I was gonna have to go live without it. But yeah. 5,000 for now? That seems like a pretty good price. I'm always happy to Wow. Oh, I should explain what we're doing because it's a little bit different to usual. Oh, thank you for the pets, Phantom. Thank you. Oh my gosh, all my toggles are working correctly today. That doesn't normally happen. So today we are going to be beginning to learn godot. The way I have planned out to do this is I have a like empty environment set up, and then I also have an example game that uses some of the basic principles set up, just like a single level with a few let me remember all the words, with the like key elements of like different nodes and scenes set up. And so the plan tentatively is I have the 2 sets of capture. I'm gonna have to be careful because I tend to, there's different types of window capture you can use when streaming, and I tend to use like the really strict in terms of categorization ones most of the time, just because it is easier and leaves me with least concern of like randomly capturing Discord or something. But because of how godot works and the fact there's pop-up windows and stuff, I'm having to use a slightly different format to usual. So there may be a little bit of pause and scuff. I have a teeny bit more delay than usual, but it should be okay. I've done a bit of testing, tentative testing. Not entirely competent testing, but you know, there was an effort was made. The other watch until you run out of air? While until you run out of air? Like, I feel like that would be quite a while though. I know I joke about not going outside or working out, but I do run quite a bit. I'm not sure why my first thought of that would just be annoying. I feel like it would be at least 50 seconds. Well, that's my starting bet. I don't know. I'm getting distracted easily, but yes, we have this, which is a pre-constructed level with some associated and set up scenes and actions, and so gonna click around here, look at the layout, and then we're looking through the your first 2D game and the like notes and scene basic documentation on the godot website, which this is where I could really do with having another monitor. If you would like to follow along or look at in the future, here is the link. I'm gonna pin that. It would be better with an explanation, but it's better than nothing, and I forgot to type it up. So there you go. But yeah, that is the plan. I also intend to get distracted as we go because I am sleepy, which I'm sure everyone expected of me. But yeah, I don't think you can do 30 seconds. I disagree. I don't know if there's any clips of it, but there was a time way back when I was playing through the first Ori game when I was really scared of one of the bosses chasing after me, and I let out like a panicked shout continuously for a solid minute. And that was unintentional. I just somehow thought that if I stopped shouting, the boss would catch up to me. But yes, I don't really know where to jump up into this. This is like a little bit different than usual. I suppose I should start clicking around now. I'm going through the clips right now. I don't think it's not on the VOD channel because this was around this time last year, honestly, and I only have VODs going back to December. All my brain cells left my body trying to figure out whether or not I was the problem with things not working before stream today, so we will see how this fares. But yes, the basics of godot. For context, because that is an important jumping off thing, although given the natures of streams I may need to repeat it at some points. I don't have any experience with godot or other game engines. I have some experience with Python, quite a bit of experience with statistical languages, and then I do SQL. I do a lot of SQL. that is my silly little mouse job. So I'm not expecting this to go well. I've had caffeine today, which I don't think is on my side. By the power of my lungs, you shall not catch me. And they didn't. I made it, I think. Eventually I made it. Not the first time. The first time I panicked and ran backwards towards the boss. Oh, hey Mio. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. But yes, I think people should be able to see from the layout. I've tried my best to capture everything. I'm quite far to the... Let me scoot over a little bit. I feel like I'm way out of where... Oh, I've escaped my little corner. What's going on? Let me... Get the mouse under control. Hello, Librarian. Hello, Crispy. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. I've made a small platformer in godot before, so I may be able to help. Snickermato, you are now the go-to question person. Thank you for volunteering for this title and position. But yes, I'm gonna go through very brief understanding of the structure of how things are used. This is very minimal. This consists of me skim reading the first 2 pages of the introduction and is the sum of my knowledge. please have low expectations. But yeah, you have nodes and scenes. Nodes are the items within scenes, so you would have something like the coin, and this can be created and then used multiple times, and this is a scene, and you would have the different nodes associated with it, is my understanding. And then within them, the scenes can be combined and layered to create, I've forgotten the term they have for it in world, in structure, but what's here is functionally level 1, and so you create a scene, you add nodes to it to give it sound, to give it an object, an image to be associated with, etc. And yeah, this is the little example one I found, and so if I get very confused, I will be panicked zooming in is probably not the best way to start. I will be deferring back to this one as a very rough guide. But if I pivot back to the empty window we have to start off with. Okay, so actually, if I do this is where I need another monitor. I was gonna say it would be helpful for me to have the godot documentation on screen, so you can. I should have thought this through more. Okay. No, I can do this on the fly. I have some amount of confidence. Let me swap over to here whilst I do this on the fly, so I don't break anything. Okay. Oh, so the chat isn't working on this screen. That's something. I mean, it's not how it's intended, but I can use game capture on a window. Never mind, I can't because I hate Chromium browsers. Oh, grumpy mouse. Okay. Browser, but I spell it wrong every time, so it's spelled as browser. Oh no, that's not the right one. Apologies. We're getting ready to not be scuffed. It's gonna happen soon. I can sense it. Yeah. Okay, that's actually the right one. If I sometimes think that it might be beneficial for me to have less windows open, less sort of tabs and stuff in OBS. But I think that would take away some of the chaos, and that has to be some of the flavor. So as it transform, let me just cop out the key stuff. No, it's gotta be about that. Yeah, it's a bit scuffed, but it'll do. That's my right, not my left. I'm kind of confused how the chat is working on one monitor but not the other. But I guess it's okay. We're back now and you're working here, and this is the main screen. But yes, so hopefully I am hoping, maybe unsuccessfully, that this part of the screen is not going to be used super frequently, and so should be okay to have the the documentation in of what I'm using and have it be at a readable size. I wasn't really sure of a good way to do it, especially because you can't. I suppose I could manually crop out the index table, Let me do that, and that way I can make it larger for the amount of content. Ba, 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 ba. That was a pretty good blind guess of how many pixels it was. I'm proud of myself for that. Okay. Chromium? I'm not the biggest fan, no. The bane of my existence is when I find a cool feature and I want to use it, and it's just like, oh, this is only supported on Google Chrome and Firefox, and I'm like, well, I used to have positive opinions about Firefox, but now I've got nothing. Like, what am I meant to do? This is mom. Same answer. Good to know I'm not the only nut who doesn't like Chrome-based browsers. Like, they're very convenient. They work well for a large group of people, and so they do have a lot of value and utility in that sense. I would rather not use them. That's my silly take. I'm sure I don't use some of the options to as full an extent as is possible, but you know, there's so many parts of it that irk me. But here we are. I should start with the thing. Okay. I do not have enough monitors for this. Okay, if I hopefully I can no longer see OBS, which is probably not ideal. This works. In a very flexible sense, this works. Yeah, okay. Apologies for having set off scuff after starting an hour late. It's just how things are sometimes. So, here we go. I'm just gonna read through the instructions, and when we see a thingamabob, we're gonna pick it up. This is much more chaotic than I intended. I'm very sorry. It's already been 20 minutes? I should have seen this coming, really. Okay, so we are starting off at the very beginning of the step-by-step introduction for getting started, which is honestly appropriate for how I feel. I enjoy when things assume you know absolutely nothing. So am I okay? I can scroll by mousing over. That's perfect. So in the view of godot's key concepts. Oh, maybe we should start there instead. That second, I dislike the ordering of this. Okay. How am I 2 lines in and I already have beef with the structure of things? Never mind. Okay. Overview of godot's key concepts. Every game engine revolves on the abstractions used to build your applications. In Godot, a game is a tree of nodes that you group together into scenes. You can then wire the nodes so they communicate using signals. So this is the thing about we talked about before. So in the demo version of the game, you can see the constructed scenes of the different nodes here. There are 4 concepts you'll learn here. We're going to look at them briefly to give you a sense of how the engine works. In the Getting Started series, you'll use them in practice. Okay, let's hope we get there. I realize is this too small for people to see me reading it? Let me. I can just put things on this side of the screen. It'll be fine. Wait, is my mouse capturing or not? Oh, if my mouse isn't capturing, that's gonna be... I can fix that. I should be capturing cursor. Oh, is it? It's because I'm tabbed out. It's not capturing my mouse. Okay. We can work with that. No, it's fine. I can. And once again, being grumpy, this time with Opera. Sorry, I'm just choosing browsers to have arguments with today, I think. I have absolutely no explanation of how or why I've set things up in the way I have on my second monitor. This is not how Windows intended to be used. Okay, so current read update. Ooh, okay. Wait, oh, I'm gonna get distracted for a little bit here, but we're excited. We're talking about books. Hi, John. Welcome in. You get ready to hear yapping. So, current books I'm reading at the moment. There are 4. As of today, I have finished The Disappearing Spoon, which is the non-fiction book for this month's book club. And I enjoyed it. I have the personal fatal flaw of a lot of the contents of this book overlaps with my favourite video essays that I've been watching on YouTube for the last decade, and so I found that a lot of the information, a lot of the information in it was content that I'd already knew, although there was definitely some kind of human interests aspect to the stories that I wasn't aware of, so that was interesting to see. Other books. I am currently reading The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Just finished Act 1. I'm actually rereading it because of a fun secret project that I'm working on at the moment, and I'm going to be rereading it, writing up a more structured review, so that's very exciting. And then there's also Six of Crows, which is the other book club book. I started that last week. I was a bit late to start that one this month, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I've actually been speeding through it. It's a much quicker read than I anticipated, I think, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of the books we've read recently, I'm probably just thinking about Priory. Priory lulled me into a false sense of security of how long it should take to read a page and how dense the contents of any given page is. And I'm still kind of recovering from that assumption. And so I'm really enjoying the way I'm almost running through Six of Crows without feeling like I'm not engaging fully with the information presented on page. It's quite satisfying. And then, what's it called? I did the thing where over the weekend I sat down. Oh, I managed to break my neck on the capture there. That's not very good. I managed to sit down and read through around half of We Have Never Known Men, which is a scary, not so cheerful, like hypothetical fantasy book. And I think it's a very good book. I've heard good reviews. Not an uplifting read, but an interesting one, and a book that I heard mentioned on a lot of my favourite book reviewers' end of year lists last year, and so I've been meaning to get around to, and finally have, but I'm waiting until I have another free weekend day to sit down and read through the rest of it, because of the contents of the book. It's not the type of one which I would want to kind of jump in and out of in the way that I do with something like A New Kind of Science, for example, or even to some extent The Way of Kings. Even being confused by the amount of characters and magic systems in Brandon Sanderson books is easier than some of the emotional aspects of that. But yeah, that's my current reading update. As always, I am reading several books at the same time, and book club and other parallel book projects have only made it worse. But that's okay. It makes a good small bargain for the book for the current reads update redeem. At least that's my excuse. I will say, heartbreakingly, I did spill a small amount of Ribena on my copy of The Way of Kings, and it's currently drying out, so I cannot pick it up and read it for at least 2 or 3 days, I think. Because the book is over 1,000 pages, it only made it through the bottom centimetre of the book, and it's very finely, very shallowly permeated. It spilled onto a surface that the book was on, so it wasn't directly over it. But I'm a little bit grumpy about that. I managed to treat the ink pages so it doesn't look like much colour transfer has happened, except on the very edges of the page, which I can't do too much about, but all the actual type should be fine. I'm just going to have to worry about the stability of the pages, but not ideal, because I am probably going to be reading it for a while, but it was an older second-hand copy, so I don't want to be grumpy with myself for damaging it, although I am a little bit. But yeah, Books are part of life. They're meant to be used and read, and sometimes if you drink enough Ribena, you spill enough Ribena. Honestly, just very glad that it stopped at the book and didn't make it onto my little drawing tablet. Is it called a drawing tablet when it doesn't have a screen? My like pen tablet thing. You read so much. I started reading one book, and even then I only made it to 10 pages a week. That is completely fair, and I would hazard a guess above average, honestly. Whoa, my voice. I really enjoy reading, and I don't have many hobbies that don't involve screens, and so I make a conscious effort to spend quite a lot of time reading, as to avoid being in front of computer all day. Slightly abnormal mouse. Wait, my voice is croaky all of a sudden. Let me have a drink. Cough, 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 cough. Okay. Why am I getting notifications? That feels like someone who got hacked. I'm just going to ignore that. Okay, so returning to the intro and definitions for godot. If I say I probably know this and I can skip past it, it's going to make me unravel later, isn't it? It's going to cause me many problems. No, we'll be diligent and slow. We'll start from the beginning. What are you making? So the plan for today is just to learn the very basics. We're going to be starting through the tutorial and making basic 2D platformer elements. Eventually, I've mentioned this in passing before, but I'd love to. I don't know if people remember the library map that I've shown a few times for where I live and all that jazz. I have that set up in a file where it can be interacted with, and it's structured to be set up as a background for a 2D game or a the brain is loading, explaining things. Like 2D pixel game with 3D map. If I'm trying so hard to have a coherent thought and it's not working, but eventually I'd love to build a basic little puzzle game within that, which would be fun. But for now, we start with basics. We don't overwhelm ourselves by not being able to explain how many dimensions a game has, and we do basic 2D platforming is the plan. That requires me not getting distracted. It's been half an hour. If only my time in meetings passed this quickly, oh my goodness. I must be specifically yapping with chat that makes time pass quickly. Okay, so these are the full concepts you'll learn here. We're going to look at them briefly to give you a sense of how the engine works in the Getting Started series. We'll use them in practice. Okay, so we have scenes. You'll break down your game into reusable scenes. A scene can be a character, a weapon, a menu, a user interface, a single house, an entire level. Making an entire level all as one scene sounds absolutely diabolical, because surely there's assets within each level that you're going to reuse. Or anything you can think of. Godot scenes are flexible. They fill the role of both prefabs and scenes in some other game engines. I'm sure that would be meaningful if I had experience in other game engines. You can also nest scenes. I was excited about this. I didn't know if this is going to be the case, so I feel good about this. Is this a chicken that's also a roll of toilet roll that's been folded very neatly? Oh, it's because this is kind of like an envelope / fancy hotel folded loo roll shape, but there's also a little what is the screwdriver that isn't a posi driver? Drill latch here, but this is a chicken as well, so I'm a bit confused. But anyway, you can drag and drop the scene as a child of it. You can put your character in a level and drag and drop the scene as a child of it. Yes. So you can create a scene that is a level, and then within that scene, add in the scene that is your character. So it's just like a tree of nested scenes at decreasing levels of granularity. How does that work with kind of granularity compatibility? Am I thinking about this in too much of a database way? Do scenes need to be at the same level of nesting to interact with each other? Each scene is a tree of nodes and scenes? Yeah, I'm just thinking because I was having a look at the node types, and you can have interactable and non-interactable objects in terms of physical impact from like a character landing on a platform versus jumping through one. My favorite cat! I got so excited because I was like, oh, my favorite, that's so cute, a cat! Also, hello, Ducky. Hi. Welcome in. I'm not a cat. So, nodes. A scene is composed of one or more nodes, your game's smallest building blocks, and you arrange them into trees. Sorry. It's okay, it's okay. Cats are cute. I accept this. I think I should just start having every other word in like a Steam title or something being mouse to drive the point home. Mouse, learn, mouse, godot, badly brackets squeaking. Favorite mouse. Wait, favorite mouse! I just assumed you were calling me a favorite cat again. I auto-completed it as if I was gonna need to sulk. Thank you! Oh my gosh! Thank you, thank you. But welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. But yeah, and then I believe this is something which I probably need to look at an example for. But when you set up a node, I'm not entirely sure if you need to have a separate node for like an audio property associated with it, or a texture, or interaction, or if that is one node and then you assign it to all of those properties. Gonna have to figure that out. I couldn't actually tell from the example, which may have been me being silly, but it's made of a character body 2D named player, a camera 2D. Camera 2D scares me. The notion of a moving camera in a video game is horrifying. I am here for top-down pixel games, and that is my domain only. A sprite 2D and a collision-shaped 2D. Okay, so they are all separate nodes by the sound of it. They're separate? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Sneko. The names 2D is because this is a 3D scene. The 3D counterparts have names with end with 3D. Oh, okay, so that's as in there's a different item allocation depending on what dimension you're intending to build with. I've set it to 2D here. You can also have 3D, which, I mean, that looks more gigabrain, but I don't think I'm equipped to participate in that. Notice how nodes and scenes look the same in the editor? Wait, should I should probably make something then. So, I feel like I'm jumping around a bit, but no, we said we're almost finished. Okay, we're kind of almost finished. We'll read through this and then we'll set up an example node and we can have a poke. Notice how nodes and scenes look the same in the editor. When you save a tree of nodes as a scene, it then shows as a single node. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. With its internal structure hidden in the editor, I really hope that's like a drop down you can click into, because I imagine I'm going to do things wrong and need to edit scenes once I've set them up. Oh, hi, Tokos. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. Rolling? Keep rolling. I still need to finish submitting brief documents for it, but I'm so excited to do the mascot commission. It's getting done this weekend. It will be finished. I've been telling myself that for 2 weekends now, but I've been very busy. Each scene is a separate file. Okay, so would you realistically, when you're in a project, have like 10 files open, 8 of which are different scenes, and then 2 of which are different levels, for want of a word, to describe different map interactions or different map locations. Coding stream plug? So far, the coding we have done, I opened Godot. Yeah, we will get things done eventually. We're gonna Godot. For now, we are being good. We are following best practice and reading through guideline documentation, which is something I always do when starting new projects, every single time. Then yeah, are kangaroo rats just mice in Australia? Wait, what's a kangaroo rat? Is this a type of rat? Is it just a buff rat? They stand on their back legs, they're so dexterous. But they like pivot, they've got big toes. Oh my gosh, they're cute. I feel like I would lose a fight to one of them, but they're very cute. Oh my gosh. How big are they? They look substantial. Height. They're up to 4 times the size of regular mice. They're not actually related to rats. I was gonna say, that seems more reminiscent of... I'm gonna show an embarrassing lack of the real world and too ingrained knowledge of VTubers. I forget the name of it, the cute little critter the doobie is. Wait, let me Google. I can do better than that. I can provide a name. Gilbra. Is that the one? They're hopping desert rodents. They're not actually related to rats? That feels believable. I think it's so... The structure of both evolution as a natural process that creates different animals, but also linguistic evolution and scientific evolution, where we have discovered things progressively in non-sequential orders to the parts. So our language of how we describe things has changed, and so there's examples of things being called whales when they're not whales and rats when they're not rats, etc. But because they were named at the time and that name has been adopted when we didn't have a better understanding of the evolutionary structure to know they're part of different families, is very interesting to me. Ooh, sorry, I'm increasingly enthusiastic about how you can trace social history and scientific history through language. It's very cool and fun. Except when it's sinister, and then it's interesting, but it's not cool or fun, it's just sinister. But you know, interesting things still have a lot of value. I'm very excited for the AlgoSpeak book. That's less about evolutionary history, but it's where I've been getting a lot of my excitement of this one. They're really small. Well, your average house mouse is like 3 to 5 centimeters, which makes me really tall at over 150 centimeters. I'll have you know. And I think it said the kangaroo rats were 8 to 14 centimeters, so that's pretty big by rodent standards. So tall? Precisely. Very tall, very tall. You ain't never seen a rodent this big. Unless there's another rodent VTuber that's quite tall. But you've rarely seen a rodent this big. Not often at all. So, I rolled up again. Where did I get to? Yep, so the scene tree. All your game scenes come together in the scene tree. Whoa. Literally a tree of scenes. As scenes are trees of nodes, the scene tree is also a tree of nodes. This feels like they're trying to make it a subtle tongue twister. But it's easier to think of your game in terms of scenes, as they can represent characters, weapons, doors, or your user interface. UIs are scary, and I will not acknowledge them. Signals! Nodes emit signals when an event occurs. This feature allows you to make nodes communicate without hardwiring them in code. It gives you a lot of flexibility in how you structure your scenes. Interesting. So is that the idea that there exists kind of predefined functions that you can pick up and apply to different parts? That seems useful. Kangaroo rats are more closely related to beavers than actual rats? Oh well, in that case they're tiny. Beavers can be pretty tall. I love the anecdote about how the US government spent 3 years trying to decide if they should build an artificial dam, and then 3 beavers did it in 2 days. Nature's really cool. This is my standpoint for this week. Vegetables good. Especially beetroot. We're having big beetroot enthusiasm at the moment, and I think for a long time to come. This is just because I've discovered some new pickling of beetroot that I enjoy. But yeah, beavers are strong. I feel like I'd lose an arm wrestling match to a beaver if they had. Do you need opposable thumbs to participate in an arm wrestling match? I suppose you could try like open palm arm wrestling, but I feel like it would become more of a balancing act, and I don't know if that's a parallel test of strength. This is why I stopped having caffeine before streams. Oh no, okay, it's fine, we got this. I'm capable of focusing. Nodes emit signals once an event occurs. This allows you to make Thank you for the hydrate, Turquoise. I only have caffeinated tea in front of me. But it's good caffeinated tea. It's got homemade bubbles in it. I made homemade bubble tea. Non-caffeine drive time. Because of my layers of windows I have open, because I have 1.5 monitors, I in fact did not see that message. But I can do that. I'll give you a bonus hydrate. Let me... Oh, I look like I had a neck injury again. I really need to learn to cover my face when I lean to the side. We're gonna get bonus can opening noises, because I have 0 sugar, 0 caffeine Sprite at the moment in little cans, which is proving very helpful. Okay, are we ready for fun can opening noise? 3, 2, 1. That was a good one. I like that one. Okay. There you go. You got like 4 hydrates for the price of 1, because I realised I was actually quite thirsty once I started drinking something that wasn't caffeinated. Okay. So it's going to be interesting to see how much signals can be deconstructed, because it's my understanding that this is where you would use something like Python or C to write out direct instructions between the defined items. So it will be interesting to see. For example, buttons emit a signal when pressed. You can connect a piece of code to signal this, which will run in reaction to this event, like starting the game or opening a menu. The built-in signals continue when 2 objects collide. When a character... Now I have hiccups. Oh. I think the universe is out to get me today. I think the global outage of Google Cloud products was actually specifically done to inconvenience me. Monster? Oh, edible? I haven't actually had any monster today. I have 2 monsters in my fridge downstairs, but I'm going to save one of them tomorrow. I'm going to the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy draft, and I still only know the cards in the set that I opened in the pre-release, so We'll see how it goes. I know the characters on the cards. That might help. Probably not. I managed to open a full art cloud, which I have been told by the people sitting opposite me who are MTG Finance Bros were very excited about, that I need to sell before it's not worth like £80 anymore. But oh heck, Lush! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Ducky. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Make sure to say thank you if you have been gifted the sub, as always. Good manners. Wow, big thank you. I never know how to thank people sufficiently, so I just trail off into little panic noises, but I hope the sincerity is felt in my inability to communicate clearly. Did you get any Catboy? I don't think I did. I got Catgirl, I think. Yeah, I think I got Catgirl. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, hi, Carl. Welcome in. I will have my vengeance. What? Wait, Ducky, what do you require vengeance for? I'm so confused. Hello, Carl. That is a good selection of vowels you have started with. Welcome in. Wife, indeed. Because I hadn't looked at any of the cards before going to the event, I didn't really know much about who to be excited for, but I opened a copy of Noctis, Prince of Lucis, and it's just a fun ability, especially because you can do all the shenanigans with black cards, the remove counters from cards, and so you can remove the finality counters, and so I'm thinking of building him as a commander. I am very tempted to build one of... the fact that they had to do the interaction of character called Esper versus not thematically being associated with Esper magic colours is very funny to me. Oh heck, Murray, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Welcome. Oh heck, I hope all the plugins are gonna work for this. Let me do a shout out. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for the raid. I was just getting profoundly distracted. Welcome in. My name is Dinya Bookwood. I am also very on VTuber. I like doing first playthroughs of games, especially if they have story elements. But today we are doing something a little bit unusual. We do quite a lot of co-working streams, but today we are doing a semi-programming stream where we're learning how to use Godot. So we're just going through the kind of official guide, and we're doing the very basics. We're just at the start because I keep getting distracted. But welcome in, everyone. If you need to grab a drink, grab a snack, take a break, maybe take some time away from the screen, make sure to take care of yourselves. I really appreciate everyone stopping by, especially Mary. I hope you had a good stream. I know if you've been co-working, you'll need to take a break after all the intensive thinking. But hi, Freya. Hi, Microsoft. Hi, Kappa. Welcome in. It's good, thank you. I'm glad. Hi, Wacky Brain. Welcome in. I keep yapping about interesting things and she gets sidetracked. I have been known to get distracted easily, but getting distracted is one of the best ways to learn new anecdotes, and so it's not something I can be too critical of myself for. And wait until we begin talking about math? I mean, we're tangentially coding today. I will end up talking about math. Just you wait. We're all very lucky that I haven't started talking about probability trees every time I see the word tree. It's like a set probability in my brain. It's at least 20%. It's gonna happen one time soon. Okay, let us resume. Okay, I'm gonna finish my point about magic the gathering, and then we're gonna resume. So, but yeah, it was very funny to me that they had a character called Esper to deal with, and then not an Esper color pie. For those who do not know, Esper is black, white, blue in Magic, but those all have thematic elements that wouldn't have matched with the character in that story arc. So yeah, very fun, very interesting. We just go with complex numbers. Complex numbers are fun. Complex numbers are chill. Well, vectors and trig soon, don't I? That's okay, I think. Some parts of vectors scare me. Trigonometry is fine, but some parts of vectors scare me. This is mostly just me thinking about further pure 3, I think? Or was it further pure 4? One of the modules in the further maths A level, I went into the exam not knowing the syllabus, and I passed it. So that was one that I'm scared of. Oh, hi, Silver Lining. I'll come in. A-levels was such a weird time. Time to integrate by substitution? Integrating by substitution is kind of fun. I miss when you would do maths questions and it would just be like integrate by this method, and then you get to exponentially decrease the amount of time you spend trying to figure out the path forwards. Vector and the minions scare me. Is Vector the name of the antagonist in Despicable Me? I'm not up to date on my animated franchises. I've seen one of the Minions film. No, I've seen one of the Despicable Me films. I think the second one. Don't ask me I was on a plane and someone was watching it and they weren't wearing headphones, and so I either had to go insane or choose to also watch the second Despicable Me movie. I'm so sorry, but I have to look. That's completely fine. Thank you for the look, Ducky. There's no need to apologize. I'll be back later. Okay, Bill. Have a great time wherever you vanish off to. Oh, thank you for the look, Mary, and thank you so much for the raid and stopping by. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Godot, very precise and good reasoning. What's it for? It's a game engine, and it's a good one. A lot of games that I love have been made in Godot, so very exciting. We should keep reading the documentation. It gives room. You could quite easily make a cargo room in Godot. Yeah, I can see that. I hypothetically know how to do that, I think. Maybe getting too bold there. Probably getting too bold there. Okay. Other built-in signals can tell you when two objects collided, when a character, monster given an area, much more. You can also define new signals tailored to your game. And I imagine this is where constructing logic in Python or C comes in. Because people mention that you need one of those languages to use Godot, but from the little bits I've seen clicking around in demos, I haven't actually seen examples to use it. I can't believe you've never seen the Minions. I've seen the Minions within the scope of memes my older co-workers use. Does that count? I've not seen the Minions movie. Okay, node scenes and the scene tree. The signals of... Oh, and signals. I got the cadence of that sentence wrong. We'll go again. Nodes, scenes, the scene tree, and signals are four core concepts in Godot that you will manipulate all the time. That's said very confidently. I'm not sure how accurate it is. Nodes are your game's smallest building blocks. You can combine them to create scenes that you can then combine and nest into the scene tree. You can then use signals to make nodes to react to events in other nodes or different scene tree branches. This makes complete sense as a sentence, but I feel like if they just separated the ideas and listed them maybe as directional bullet points or like a flowchart, it would be a lot more digestible. Because having interacted with things like Scratch before, I'm familiar with the structure of this. But I just feel like the sentences are closer to tongue twisters than instructions at times. Godot has its own programming language called GDScript. Yes! I watched a video of someone using GDScript for like 10 minutes to figure out if I needed to know for the video, and I genuinely thought they were writing in Python, and I just hadn't used Python much this year and got confused. I was just like, this is so familiar. Maybe I'm just wrong. I don't use Python too much anymore. I must just be wrong. I must have just forgotten. The syntax is close to Python's? Yeah. Script. 1 plus 1 is 11. Yeah, that's how SQL works. Yep. Although, you would need to declare them as strings rather than numbers, and so you'd need to have the relevant quote symbols for whatever compiler you're using to run it. This is just me suffering because I know the Databricks and SSMS use different quote symbols for every category, and it upsets me whenever I have to swap between the two. Okay, we have gone. I'm going to leave this as an open tab for when I inevitably get bamboozled. I don't think I'm going to get bamboozled by this, but that might be me being delusional. And we shall move onto the first 2D game. Woo! We're making big moves now. In this step-by-step tutorial series, you'll create and complete your first 2D game with Godot. By the end of the series, you'll have a simple yet complete game of your own, like the image below. You will learn how the Godot editor works, how to structure a project, and how to build a 2D game. This game is called Dodge the Creeps. Your character must move and avoid the enemies for as long as possible. You will learn to create a complete 2D game with Godot Editor, structure a simple game project, move the player character and change its sprite, spawn random enemies, and count the score. Okay. Bold of this file to assume that it's gonna finally teach me how to use correct project structure after this many years of me ignoring things. Gotta love JavaScript, the language where A plus B is not equal to B plus A. I mean, I agree with that. Like, especially if it's like sequential action of functions, that's definitely true. maybe I'm being too literal. But if you have like A and B as functions, and you just read it as function notation without the brackets, and so you have like A of B of X, that is very different to B of A of X unless certain properties are true, kind of. I'm talking about maths too much. Let me get back to reading documentation. Dodge the cat accusations? I don't have the sprites ready for it, but if this becomes a very chaotic, very distracted series, and we do make verbatim this little thing, I could use one of my Denya images of me walking, moving around, and have it be cats that I'm dodging, which is fun thematically because mice are scared of cats, but also because it's cat allegations. And the prize points could be called books. Okay, anyway. So, and more. I'm doing jazz hands. Why start with 2D? Because 3D scares me. I get motion sick. If you're new to game development or unfamiliar with Godot, we recommend starting with 2D games. The prerequisites, I believe, we have covered, and if I don't have them, then we just accept that. Oh, I may not have got the right game assets. I've got some assets downloaded. We'll hope that those are sufficient. Okay. Setting up the project. In this short first part, we will set up and organize a project. Let's hope I haven't done this wrong already, because I've already done some of this. When creating a new project, you need to choose a valid project path. You can leave other default settings alone. Download the asset file, then archive contents and images and sound you'll be using to make the game. Extract the archive and move them to the art fonts directories for your project directory. Okay, I am gonna where's my OBS and my 5000 windows? Oh, we have me in a car. I forgot about that. I'm gonna hide my monitor for a second whilst I download the assets for the example work and put them in the right place. And I'm gonna hope I don't have to restart the program for it to recognize them, because that would be an extra amount of time. I'm also gonna hope I can remember. Aha! Okay, no, that's not the location. Aha! I found my file location. Just second try. That's fine. Da 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 da. Into your projects directory. Okay, well, we shall see how this goes. I'm looking at the file structure that it's created the new version with, and it doesn't have the structure that I would necessarily expect for it to from what's described in the documentation. But I'm gonna hope that it's just being broad and it just means within the location. And I'll see how that goes. And if not, we'll hope that it's smart and it can piece things together. And I'm just gonna leave the window open there so I can access this again if it's broken. Apologies, I'm having to do this off screen. I have everything set up to be named in your computer and other suitably non-information revealing things. I'm just always cautious, so I'd rather be careful. Your project folder should look like this. Oh, so it wants me to separate out. Okay. That's fine then. There's a readme folder, but I'm already reading this, and maybe that's enough reading for today. Okay, I have a folder that looks like this now. Oh, wait. If I do this, so we can still see the editor, the documentation. Apologies for scuff. Oh. Oh god, she's driving? I don't have a driving license. Which maybe it's fine. In JS, the actual addition operator. Wait. When you say the addition operator has this problem, do you mean if you don't like define the type of the objects that you're adding? Or do you mean it has that issue with numbers? It can't have that issues with numbers, surely, because it would store it as a number and then. What? No, what? I'm scared of JavaScript, I think. Because the results type depends on which value is first. Oh, so you mean like if one was defined as a decimal and the other was defined as an integer, it would have some force compatibility to add the two, but then define it as the type of the leading element? Or... I'm not sure I understand how that works. No, with numbers? I'm lost on how that goes wrong, but I believe the things are built strangely. No one knows how or why things are made how they exist now. I'm just gonna put my OBS over Godot because I'm clicking around in other menus. The game is designed for portrait mode, so you need to adjust the size of the game window. Okay. I'm gonna... Can I double check that I can... I want a... visibility... Ooh. I want to test that the image assets have been set up correctly, but I I don't think I know how to do that yet. So I'm just gonna go back to having the view, and you don't need to worry about me driving anymore, which is very reassuring. But yes, somewhere in the distance I have things set up correctly to have the correct file structure, allegedly. A project folder should look like this, which we have. The game is designed for portrait mode, so we need to adjust the size of the game window. Project settings, display window tab, mouse mention, sorry, viewport width. Okay, so if we just go for the default recommended, because I don't want to have to manually convert things for different scales in my head. You can see the project menu on the upper left corner. Oh, that's just adding additional directions. Okay, I'm gonna be silly, but I can't see a save button, so I'm assuming if you just hit close, it's all okay and ready to rumble. What documentation appeared there? Okay, that's handy. So if you long over... Oh, I love that! One of the banes of my existence is setting menus with vague names that change on every version update, and you spend more time figuring out the settings than actually troubleshooting the issue or trying to fix in the settings. This is me largely just complaining about Windows 11 again. Do I turn my blue light filter off? Maybe. It just turned on and it's making me sleepy. Aha! Blue light. Okay. If you do the string plus number, it will convert the number into a string and concatenate them. But number plus string, it will convert the string to a number, then add. Wait, so will it strip out any non-numerical characters from the string when doing that? That's interesting. That's a weird forced run, because I would just assume that errors from incompatible type without suitable casting. Oh, good evening, Ben. Are you playing games not enough? You're making them now? So the motivation for this has been, it's a long time coming, but also it was picked as a channel point redeem, and I have chaos I'd like to build. I'd love to build a puzzle game one day, where you do a little puzzle and there's thematic elements, and then at the end of the puzzle you get a fun fact relating to the theming of the puzzle. That would be the dream. But I need to think of good puzzles, and then I'd either do it on stream so people would know all the answers to the puzzles from watching me stream it, or I would have to infinitely create another 200 hours in a week. I think it'd be fun. Maybe a little to the left, but it's organizing books in a library edition sort of thing. I really want to play a little to the left. It's been on my to be played list for so long. Love a good puzzle. Same. I still need to finish Blueprints, but I got quite a distance in, and then I have so many things to stream, and I've played through it so far, so I don't want to finish it off stream. So we'll see. Catherine had the same idea. It's a puzzle game. Each time you request a drink, you get a trivia about a new drink. Oh, that's fun. A little to the left is very cute. Yeah, it's one of the kind of classics I'd like to play. The Catherine that I know about is one that has a really dedicated player versus player community as a kind of... I don't know how you describe it. Puzzle platformer Tetris type of thing. I don't think I'm thinking of the right Catherine, am I? Also, hi Super Welcome. Welcome in. So, under the stretch option mode to set mode to canvas options. Oh heck, I need to reopen my menu. I swear I saw this word before. Window. Stretch. Oh, display. Stretch mode. Oh, just okay, it's a different UI. Disabled. Canvas items. Keep. There we go. Scales consistently on different sized screens. Oh, that is very handy. I must mention the puzzles and trivia has little connection. Making Fortnite too. Ah yes, I, Mouse of the Battle Royale, am an expert in this genre. I had a while where I got addicted to Fortnite, but that was Leo's fault. That wasn't me being addicted to Fortnite so much, it was Kai and Leo falling in love with it, and then me getting dragged along as the third for the team. Also, Logan, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the library. I hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Organizing the project. Maybe I will learn how to structure my files for projects. Probably not. In this project, we'll make 3 independent scenes: player, mob, and HUD, which we'll combine in the game's main scene. I feel like I should say the keywords as like a capital letter words, but I'm not very good at being loud, so I'm just left with dramatic voicing, which I don't think I'm necessarily very good at either. But we will continue onwards. In a larger project, it might be useful to create folders to hold various scenes and their scripts, but for this relatively small game, you can save your scenes and script in the project's root folder, identified by words. Okay. So, the file system, where's... Oh, here it is! I'm very good at navigating UIs. Drama Mouse? Now I'm just thinking of drama, hey. I miss like mid-early 2010s K-pop. I'm so old. Dramatic mouse. I think I could be quite dramatic. Oh, see. It's added wisdom. That's the benefit. Okay, with the project in place, we're ready to design the player scene in the next location. Okay. Oh, so it did load in. I accidentally left the empty folder there, but that's okay. We've got all of the expected items. Next! We're numing through things. How long have I been streaming for? It's been over an hour. We are non-numing, but we're still making adequate pace, and that's what counts. I'm learning things. And keeping up motivation is more important than learning quickly, because if you learn really quickly for 10 minutes and then stop because it's fried your brain, then you won't have learned much in total than if you meander along the way. It's only a teeny bit of cope. There's good advice mixed in there somewhere. Somewhere. Creating the player scene. When the project setting's in place, we can start working on the player-controlled character. The first scene will define the player object. One of the benefits of creating a player scene is that we can test it separately, even before we've created the other parts of the game. Okay, big moves about to happen. To begin, to choose a root style for the player object. A root node for the player object. As the general rule, a scene's root node should reflect the object's desired functionality. Okay. In the upper left-hand corner, go to the Scene tab and click the Other Node button. Oh, that has popped up over here. I don't think the pop-up window will show up in OBS. Okay, I am tentatively. Do I want to set up monitor capture? I think I'll be fine on this monitor. Let me just open anything that I would need to open as part of maintenance and put it on my other monitor so it's fine. I was smart and I set it up so that this time I'm not capturing my primary monitor. Just because I figure I'll need to do full display capture at some point. And I don't wanna. Oh! Okay. Only a little bit of scuff. Yes. Okay. It would be so much easier to do this if I wasn't using an OBS window that was 4 pixels wide. But I have inflicted the number of windows I want to have open upon myself, and now I must simply deal with it. Okay. So I think... Yep. There we go. Well, that's not what I expected to happen. Okay, there you go. That's what I expected to happen. So now here, just next to our documentation, we have the pop-up folder, and I'm gonna have to be a Jamos. You know what this means? You need more monitors? I do! Okay, this is me being punished for never going into the office in person. We got new monitors at one of my work's locations, and so these were not like nice monitors. They were square aspect ratio, probably could display max 1080. 20 years old monitors, but they were throwing them out. And I spoke to the site janitor, and they said that if I picked them up myself, I could get as many of as I could carry for free. And I was going to do it, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's Bill. I plan to go into the office one day next week. I'll pick them up then. No, the day before I got there, one of the people from IT had turned up with their car and put all of the monitors into their car because they wanted to strip them for parts for projects. And so by reluctance to leave the library, I was scammed out of 3 free, very, very old, very scuffed monitors. I was kind of grumpy. I've been scouring Facebook Marketplace and stuff for a few monitors since. But CRT monitor? That's the old display mechanic, isn't it? I don't think so, because I don't actually know the specs of them, but I believe they were too narrow to, like, too shallow in the back to be CRT monitors. That might be being biased because the one CRT television I've seen was further back than it was wide, but it was made in the 80s, so... Would have been thick. They weren't thick, they were just blurry. Oh heck, hi Sonic! Thank you for the 83 bits. Thank you. And hello. Hi Little Mouse. Hello, Sonic via the internet. Oh, come in. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, and thank you for the 83 bits. Ah. But yeah, I'm still sulking about the lack of free monitors. I should have just gone into the office the next day on like the Monday or something. It says 1 day a week in my contact, and I take that 1 day a week seriously. Okay, so I've gotten so distracted. But yeah, I want to get a third monitor someday. I've been dreaming of getting a monitor arm to like set up my desk and be fancy, because at the moment I'm just using the IKEA monitor stands, which they work. It gives me a handy dandy place to store my keyboards and stuff under, but it'd be really good to be able to set up my monitors and also to be able to pivot them, because I'm stuck with them both being landscape because I don't have a monitor arm to rotate them for, and I hate coding in landscape. This is entirely my problem, but I don't like it. I want a portrait monitor for a lot of the work that I do. I have one at my office desk, but not for at home. So yeah, silly mouse issues. But yeah, that's one of my projects for this year. It's lower on the list though. At the moment, my next radical plan is I want to put up curtains. I'm very excited about that. Wait, what the heck? Oh my gosh, Sonic, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm levitating. Why am I... Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Which layer am I in? Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you, I really appreciate it. Wait, oh, there's a train thing happening as well. Oh. No one noticed the mouse levitating. I'm powerful, but I'm not meant to be that powerful. Oh my gosh, Ender Phantom, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the library. I hope you're having a good day. I have my second monitor vertical and use Microsoft PowerToys to split into these sections. Ooh, I haven't thought about using Microsoft. The more notification. Turquoise, thank you so much for the gifted sub. I really appreciate it. Wait, I should read out who they gifted to. Oh my gosh, I have bad manners. Thank you so much from Sonic for the gifted sub to Ninja Wolf, Israel Flame Reaper, Happy Phantom. OMG, it's Chani? I hope I got that right. And Torito, thank you very much. And Turquoise, thank you for the gifted sub to Kyoki. Thank you, thank you. Wow. But, oh, scandalous behavior. I'm about to say something positive about Windows 11. I think the automatic screen allocation, where if you go to partially minimize or reduce the size of a window, it suggests automatic portions and lets you pre-select the other one. That is something that I prefer to Windows 10, where you just kind of had to do it manually, and it would try desperately to force the windows to both be even aspect ratio, split screen, like precisely down the middle. I do prefer the range of options you can get automatically in Windows 11 and how easy it is. That's the only nice thing I'll say about Windows 11. I like that it's currently supported as well. Does that count as a nice thing? I don't know. Well, delayed reaction panicked mouse noises. I should create a node, shouldn't I? Oh my gosh. Sonic, thank you so much for the 317 bits. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh wait. Aha, because I'm doing like a co-working coding screen, I can type out. Aha. There you go. I know the speed that the text-to-speech goes at, especially with my yapping, isn't always the easiest, so I'm still on Windows 10 because I'm stubborn. I really wanted to stay on Windows 10, but I got a new PC and I got it pre-built because I wanted insurance on it, because I was yeah, I got a I was really lucky that when I got my job, I got out of uni, I got a signing bonus, and I was like, I'm gonna spend this on a new computer, or at least I was planning to save for half a year and spend it on a new computer, and then my old computer kind of bricked, so I bought a new computer a bit early, but I wanted it to be pre-built so that if I ever have issues, I can just send it back and they will repair it for the next. I think I've got 4 years left on the warranty because I don't know. It's a big PC. I expect to use it for the next decade, maybe only upgrading RAM and stuff, so yeah. But anyway, long story short. Sonic, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to Evil Viking, Flight Chosen, Indie, Vivisola, and Canib Aslam. Thank you so much. I should say, if you've been gifted a sub at any point, make sure to say thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Where was I up to in my Windows anecdote? I was hoping to get it installed on Windows 10, but because it was within the 12 months point of no longer being maintained, the company who made it, I used PC Specialist, didn't offer Windows 10 as like the starting program, and I was like, oh, this is fine. I can just swap over Windows 10 to my new PC when I get it. Just swap over, and then I can use it for like at least a year before it stops being supported. I don't own any USBs. I didn't own a thumb drive to transfer it over. I considered getting a train across the country to a friend just to borrow an empty USB to try. I felt so dumb. I was just I have so many cables. I have 3 different versions of Nintendo DS's. How do I not own a thumb drive somewhere? But anyway, this is a suffering of my own undoing. And realistically, I could have ordered one online for next day delivery, but I really wanted to stream again the day that I got my PC, because I had been just under a month without it, since I had to wait for payday and then for it to be built. And so I just streamed day of, and so set everything up on Windows 11, and then was too stubborn to and then it took so long setting everything up from scratch to stream on that I was like, I'm not doing this again. And it's been a year now, and I still haven't learned how to use Windows 11. I don't think I will at this point. Honestly, I think I might try streaming on Linux. You can buy one for like $15. I know. I was this close to like getting a train to the nearest city centre and going to some open late supermarket to grab one, but it was like 10 p.m. when my PC got delivered. Wait, what the heck? Am I getting confused about notifications or Sonic? Oh my gosh! Thank you for another 5 gifted subs. Oh my goodness! The couplets are floating. That's a good point, Electrode. Thank you. The couplets are floating. Have I accidentally moved that entire layer up? Almost certainly. Yes, yeah, that's what happened. Thank you so much, Sonic. I really appreciate it. Oh my goodness. That's a lot. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Holy moly. Thank you for the gifted sub to Kite Project Spirit Wolf. I believe that is Pikachu from when they chat sometimes. I'm afraid I can't read the full name, but that's part of it. I remember from the automatic translation. Thank you for the sub to Jake and to Sitio. Thank you very much. If you've been gifted a sub, make sure to say thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. This explains why I was floating earlier. I was confused how it happened, but I must have just grabbed the whole layer by accident. Okay, this is something that I'm campaigning for. I'm sure someone's built it out there, but I want to be able to nest folders in OBS for scene sources. That's what I want. That is on my like to-do list, because I don't need this many folders in my like daily use scenes in OBS, but I have them. I think I have probably like easily 70 different sources on this scene, and I currently have it split between 7 folders and then 4 random layers of things that I've added in recently without any structure. But I would like to be able to nest my folders. That is my request. OMG, I know the first 2 people. Wait, really? People may know Kai as hologram. There was the person who was doing the shop buying on Repo on Tuesday. Got into many a battles with Lion. Back to the yard work? Oh my goodness, good luck with yard work. I hope the weather's more pleasant for yard work there than it is here. It's very humid here, which I cannot imagine makes good yard conditions. It's raining? That could be nice if you don't need to go out and you can just like accept it as a shower and maybe listen to some dramatic music and spin around a little bit as you do the yard work. If not, probably quite unpleasant. I'm trying to think of the song that is playing in my mind as soon as I said that. Is it I Only Need You Tonight? I don't think it is. That's the opening line of the chorus, at least. It's freezing here. I'm so warm. It's probably wrecking my audio, so you'll all have already noticed, but I have my fan on, which for the record is referred to as a silent fan. Not entirely silent, but but yeah, I'm attempting to not overheat. I'm just back in pajamas. I'm too warm. I've been doing the antisocial thing whenever I join a call for a meeting or work. I'm just no camera, just being like, unless the director of a department is here, I will be in my pajamas and I will be comfy. Linkin Park should do. Linkin Park would work. Or Evanescence. I feel like that's the good genre for listening to music in the lane. I completed an amazing project in freelance, decided to share the joy. Oh my gosh, congratulations on your project. I hope I'm glad it went well. I'm glad it went well. Doing big projects on your own without structure as a freelancer can be super difficult in a variety of ways. So very well done. Oh, thank you for the luck ducky. Thank you. I don't actually know what temperature it is at the moment. It's probably only like 18 degrees, but I'm on the top floor of the library, and so I have all the aggregated heat from the day, and a lot of insulation. Oh my gosh! Wait, it was 11. Oh, thank you very much for the level find hype train. I didn't see the levels going up. Wait, the emote I got was a cat getting jump scared. Pay no attention that the hype train on my channel gave you a cat reward. Nothing can be nothing can be assumed as a as evidence from this. Wait, that I swear Twitch must have more frames in their little emotes than the average person. There's so many layers to that one. I'm so distracted. Oh my goodness. Key takeaway. I'm sorry you're overheating. My audio is even worse than normal because there's a fan on, and I'm stuck on Windows 11. And one day I'll learn to use Linux. I just don't like debugging. I've used Linux before, but with the amount of scuff programs I have to run for stream, I have to debug too much already. I can't do it. But for now, we're creating a node. Oh, thank you for the hydrate and the pet ducky. Did the power work? No, it didn't. Scandalous. Thank you for the pets. Okay. And let me get my hydrate. I have done the thing where, as is the case for many businesses, when I made my own like scuff homemade bubble tea, I made exponentially too many bubbles for the amount of tea I had. So I just have a pile of tapioca. I just headbutted my headset, so I'm very sorry if there's a loud noise. Yum 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 yum. I already have a new game lined up. Oh, what's this? Is this for next project, or is this for saving for next channel point redeem, or just where you want to play kind of thing? Newman with focus. Okay. To begin, we need to choose a root node for the player object, and we want it to reflect functionality. Yes. Click other node in the scene. I am using a different version of godot than the one in the key documentation, but that's just part of reading instructions. It's never the same version. Ooh. When you're in the... Oh, okay. Very different. So, node, canvas item, node 3D. Can I search for other node? Base class for all scene objects? That seems to be the closest thing. £2,000 points, 20,000 points left to collect. Oh, I'm excited for... I think I haven't fully tested it, but I think I found a way to trick One Shot to pull not real Microsoft account information into the game, so we should be okay to play that at some point soon. We'll have to see if I can fit it into next week's schedule or maybe the week after at latest, but we'll get it played for sure, for sure. Okay, I'm hoping this is correct because I don't have the same UI, but we have a general node. This node has no shape, so it cannot collide with other objects. Okay. When you add an Area 2D node, godot will display the warning icon. Okay, so I'm assuming we want to create another node now? Area 2D, yeah. And then create. Oh, it's nested it automatically. Not sure if that's how it's meant to be. Oh, I'm silly. I've in fact already made a mistake. Can I just do Control Z? I can! I love universal controls. So, we create the Area 2D node. It was just to access the others, you have to go to the menu there. I don't get that warning, but that's okay. We can ignore the warning temporarily. I don't feel great about that. Historically, that doesn't feel good to me. You already had a 2D node in yours? I didn't. That might have been from when I was testing it earlier. Oops a daisy. Once the visuals are ready, we can add the collision shape as a child node. That, I assume that just means a nested node within the scene for the relative object. This will allow us to accurately size and position the shape based on the sprite's appearance. 80% of my beef with game demos come from the hitbox of character icons and interactable objects. With Area 2D, you can detect objects that overlap and run to the player. Change the node's name to player by double-clicking it. Classic. I'm assuming not camel type. What's it called when it's underscores instead of segmented by capitalization? I can't remember. Capital letters stress me out, so I just use underscores for spaces. I need to read things out loud, that was the whole point of this. Okay. Area 2D, we can detect objects that overlap or run into the player. Change the node's name to player by double-clicking on it. I will not be capitalizing it, but okay. Now that we've selected the scene's root node, we can add additional nodes to give it more functionality. Before we add any children node to the player, we want to make sure we don't accidentally move or resize them by clicking on them. Select the node and then click the icon. Select the node and then click the icon to the right of the lock. On this one, it says group the selected node with its children. This causes the parent to be selected with any child node when clicked in a 2D or 3D view. That is very beneficial. Okay, that is very handy. Snake case. Okay, interesting. I prefer snake case. My next game I played is the game I hate this game. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've played that one before. For some reason, the title reminds me of the There Is No game, which, fun fact, the first game to ever be redeemed for me to play through from the channel was There Is No game. A little bit of library history. It makes me kind of sad that I didn't archive my streams going that far back, because that one was really fun. I played through it in a whole stream. It was the first time I'd played a kind of point and click style game in ages. So it was very fun. I can remember bits of that stream. I got accused of being a cat a lot, but it was also very fun. Okay, so we've done that. Save the scene as... Okay, so I'm assuming we save the node as... Don't know what that file type is. TSCM? Invalid node name, following characters aren't allowed? Okay. So... Save the player scene as player son. So this is the node. How do you select the scene when there's only a node within it? Like, there isn't a super category to go to, unless I'm being silly. Oh, does it mean the scene is in the whole item? Yes, okay. There we go. Took me a minute to think, but we made it. Stanley Parable is another fun one. I've never played Stanley Parable, but I've watched a lot of playthroughs of it. One game which I almost played, and I still kind of want to, is the game the Atrioc was kind of... Oh, I'm clicking and dragging things that I probably shouldn't be clicking and dragging. The Atrioc was a part of making, which was Get to Work, which is kind of thematically associated with Stanley Parable, which seemed very fun. I watched a lot of people play it. Atrioc is probably one of the top 5 non-VTuber streamers that I watch the most. Very specific criteria, but given that I perpetually have Twitch streams or VODs on as background noise, still quite a high ranking. Okay. For this project, we will be following godot naming conventions. Classes use Pascal case. Variables and functions use snake case. Constants use all caps. That is a nice format to use. I will not be using that because capital letters scare me. It's also confusing to me that this is called Pascal case, because I always know this is camel case. Classes, export variables, methods use Pascal case. I will not be using C#. No chance. Local variables and parameters use camel case. See style guide. I don't think my style and formatting will be the issue with me trying to write C#. Be careful to type the method names precisely when connecting signals. Oh dear. I imagine I can work backwards on how to swap things to write them into Python, so I should be fine. Click on the player node. Control A in Windows or Control Command A on Mac. And add a child node. Okay. Automation. I love learning commands. It makes me feel so smart. It makes me feel very like big brain hacker man. The animated sprite. Okay. Animated sprite 2D. There we go. Perfect. The animated sprite will handle the appearance and animation file player. Notice there is a warning symbol next to the node. Yes, there is. An animated sprite 2D requires a sprite frames resource, which is a list of animations it can display. Make sure animated sprite is selected, then find sprite frames property under animation section in the inspector. Okay, so animation, sprite frames, I found it before looking at the layout. Click on the spy frames you just created. And the open panel. New spike frames. Where did the animation window open from? Oh. This is what I get for skim reading things. Okay, we go back and do things slowly. Oh, hi reality. Welcome in. And I had this as a moose stream? Wait, I don't actually know what noise a moose makes. I want to say moo, but I don't think that's correct. It's definitely not moo, is it? It's a mouse stream. yeah, it's a mouse stream. No moose, any cato, not a cato. Probably like ooh. I'm quite good at making those noises. That's like one of my default panic sounds. Maybe this is why moose and mice are named so similarly, because you make such similar noises. Mouse stream? I'm always so scammed because my dyslexia makes the Arknight's character called Moose be read as mouse every time. And every time I'm like, mouse! No, not another Zalak for me. I suffer. One day I'll get a guard. Thank you for the hydrate and the stitch, Jake. You'll be happy to know I'm out of caffeine. Well, but yes, we are getting a teeny bit distracted. Teeny bit distracted learning godot. Oh my gosh! Sonic, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs! What the heck? Thank you so much! I was looking away from my stream, but I don't know what happened when I was trying to drink, and then I was surprised. So I'm kind of curious to see what my model did. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to Jules, to Copycat John, to NM7, to Pepsi Man, to Snicolato, to Zeshi, to Zaniel, to Harrison, to Percha, and to Cliff from Hell. Thank you so much. That's a lot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Holy moly. Thank you, Sonic. Oh my gosh. Why am I on? I have 73 subs now. That's crazy. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Mouse, who is very equipped to respond to nice things. I thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I will regain the ability to say words at some point. I'm just cheesing in the meantime. I need to make more cheese puns. I need to learn from some. I gotta make more cheese puns. I think it's necessary. Oh. Oh my gosh, thank you. Okay. We are gonna be diligent and we're gonna read through everything. Well, okay, click on the player node, Control A to create a child node, which is an animated sprite. This will handle the appearance and animations of the player. Notice there's a warning. An animated sprite requires sprite frames resource, which is an animation it can display. Make sure the animated hiccups sprite 2D is selected, and then find the sprite frames property under the animation section. In the inspector, click empty new sprite frames. Okay, we did that bit. Then click on the sprite frames you just created to open the sprite frames panel. Oh, I just needed to click on it. Okay, that was less confusing than I made out. that was quite doable then. Oh. One mouse, many mouse, one mouse, many mice. Mice mouse, nice. However, it said I'm the tallest. That's what I know. Jules gone? Yeah. Cinnamon rolls always sound so silly. Reading my ridiculous edgelord username. I'm always okay. This is gonna sound ridiculous. I always get slightly nervous reading out people's full Twitch names because people often have like joke names and stuff, and you know, I've been alive for a few hundred years. I'm still not very good at picking up on when there's silly jokes in people's names, and so I'm after one time of getting tricked into like saying silly things when reading out people's names, I'm always nervous, which is why I normally pick out like half of someone's name to say. But whenever it's something like following or subscribing or gifting, I feel like I should say this whole thing, and so I stumble over words so much because I'm used to just saying my silly little abbreviations. But wow. If it helps, when I saw the username Cliff from Hell, I just imagined the geographical feature. Because when you think of traditional depictions of hell, you think of like lava and mountains and stuff. And so I just imagined like an outcropping of rock over one of the ominous lava pits, you know? Maybe it's rude to infer that a member of your community is in fact just a geological structure instead of associating them with a person, but it's what the username sounded like to me. That's what I imagine. I don't know. Yep. I'm gonna get back to my notes. Click the default one and rename it to walk. Oh, okay. Click auto selected there. Then click the add animation button to create a second animation named up. Is this the add animation button? Look at me go! It isn't automatically selected, big sad. Find the player images in the file system doc that are in the art folder you unzipped earlier. Player gray, walk 1 or walk 2? Oh, Hexonic, thank you for the 83 bits! Oh my gosh, thank you so much! Oh, thank you so much. You've given me so much stuff today. I don't know how to say thank you properly, but thank you very much. Veterans ask me if I've served, but my name is a joke. It's just a random word off a loading screen, which I've also defaced. Meowlatry? I would assume it's a pun. And puns, I wish I was better at making puns. I feel like for someone who has as much like grandma energy as I do, I should have grown through the phase in life where I learned how to make the like cheesy dad puns, you know? But I just never did. I never had like a dad pun phase, and so I wish I could do puns off the top of the head. I would become infinitely more cheesy and annoying because it would be every other sentence. But I would enjoy it a lot, and so every year it's on my New Year's resolution to learn more silly puns and weave them into sentences. And I don't learn many because I get distracted, but I do learn some, and I'm always very excited about them. I have no idea where my username came from. It's too old and my memory is a potato. That's fair. I have some random usernames rolling around. A lot of them, embarrassingly, are just names from characters from like different anime I liked when I was younger. Some of which betray my previously bad taste in anime. My taste in anime is now flawless. But previously... Gotta become a dad, the puns get downloaded into your brain? I'm a plant parent, does that count? I have like 70 plants. I feel like that's enough children. And I'm responsible for all of you. Oh. but... Oh. Sorry, I'm stretching. I'm slightly sleepy. Okay, very focused. I need to water my plants actually. It's been too warm today. They need daily watering at the moment. Okay. I need to pick strawberries. It's been like 3 days since I've picked them. Some of them might have spoiled, but I can leave them for the birds. That'll be okay. Find the images in the file doc station. Okay, we found them. Drag 2 images for each animation. Oh, okay, so you need both. Where do you drag them to? So, here, I would assume. Okay. And up. You see, this is interesting, because to me, I thought this was what the enemy looked like in the demo, not the user. Let me go back to the previous page to show what I'm yapping about. Let me go back to the previous page to show what I'm yapping about. Never mind, I misremembered. Okay. There we have it. I'm not calling you mother. It's okay, as long as I'm not called cat, I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Plant puns downloaded in progress, please wait. Honestly, if I could just get plant-specific puns, that would be good. That would work for me. Am I gonna get like a specialization in Monstera and Pepperomia? Pepperomia? I don't actually know how to say that word out loud. I just know how to look after the plants. They're the 2 most common genuses I have of plants. I've been sitting here for 3 hours unable to remember that it's good I'm meant to download. To be fair, I was surprised by how easy it was to install godot. I expected to have to do a bunch of setup before stream, but it was so chill. Just had to download and zip. And it's such a small file size for what it functions as. Big props to godot for being such an efficiently sized program and also open source. I love people doing proper storage optimization and also open source projects. Applause that you can't hear very well. I'm not very good at clapping. This is why I have to do like desk drum roll whenever I want to applaud something. The play images are a bit too large for the game window, so we need to scale them down. You can click on the animated sprite 2D node and set the scale property to 0.5, 0.5. So I imagine this is one of the ones here. It's on the animated sprite 2D node. It's not down here. Is it going to show me here? You can find it in the inspector under the Node 2D heading. Transform. Scale. Oh. No, I'm about to rotate it. Oopsie daisy. Wait. Scale rotation? No, I'm silly. Okay. Yes. Sorry, let me. I got carried away there. Okay. It is the right one. I read this as a super category because I saw the cutoff there, but that was me being silly. I'd say knowing only plant-based jokes would make you a one-trick pony. That was a good one. This is my defense for why I'm so bad at learning puns. I do most of my communication over the internet and therefore by written text, and I am very dyslexic, and so I will just read the pun as the correct word, and so I think I just miss out on a lot of puns day to day, which is, first of all, a sad experience because I'm missing out on quality puns. Second of all, a sad experience because I missed learning opportunity, but it's also kind of funny. Because I just autocomplete the words. Tried the Godot app on a Chromebook, but it didn't take input very well in debug mode, I guess they have more issues to fix. Oh, is this the online version? I saw when I was looking into it that there's a in-browser version of it, but I I don't like browsers that much. I rather run things as an installed program, but I have a lot of storage space and shenanigans, so I realize that's not a convenience that works for everybody. Oh, no. I know I only set up the Nightbot command with the reminder message like 2 days ago, but I feel so embarrassed whenever it pops up. It's like, oh my gosh, that's self-promotion. What are you doing? Maybe I should change it to once an hour. Once every half an hour feels like too much. Okay. I want to make the little guy spin again. I don't know, that was very satisfying. Hee. Okay. Finally add a collision shape. Okay, so you're in player and you do control A, and then you do collision shape 2D, and it'll find it automatically for me, and that makes my life easier. And that is structured how I wanted it to be, which is nice and handy. The hitbox, which is never ever correct, no matter how it's built. It's always a hitbox issue, unless it's a ping issue. For this character, the capsule shape node gives the best fit. So next to shape, I would assume is a new capsule shape 2D. Yep. Using the two size handles resides the shape to cover the sprite. Wait, where's the shape? Oh! Oh! Okay. Oh wait, does it... Oh, okay. I've not done a very good job of guessing where that middle is. I think that's a decent approximation for height. Oh, we're off center though. Let me skedoodle. The upsetness of getting like hit in the kneecap adjacent area and it registering is just something we're gonna have to live with, I think. I need to double check. I am on the walking one. Yeah, I imagine it's the same for the jump or the up one. I forget how it was labeled. I think it was labeled up. When you're finished, your player scene should look like this. I still have hazard symbols, but oh. Okay. Should I not have the hazard symbols anymore? Player base. Oh, is this the issue? Area 2D. I see what I've done wrong, but I don't know how to undo it. Oh, hi, Jenny. How goes learning? I think I'm learning a lot of things. I realized that I've done this silly thing wrong, but I don't know how to undo it. So, I had already created a node as a test object, and then within that node, I created the player base, and then I created the subsequent objects. So the ones which I created as children of the central node should have been children of the player base node. And I believe you could just like arbitrarily renest a node, but I don't know if I can swap what a node is a child of, if I can lower the granularity level of a node to lower within a subsequent scene, if that makes sense. Does any group of nodes become a scene, or does it have to be declared as a specific type? You can drag the nodes to repair them, like this. Hey, we're saved. Okay, nice. I was scared I'd have to actually code something to fix it. I thought I'd have to go in and like redirect the naming pathing for what it was associated with. I'm back and soaking. Oh, there. Do you have like a handy? I don't know. That sounds like a good time for a shower or something. Or just like sitting down in a dressing gown and complaining whilst eating popcorn or some other warm food. Unlock? Oh, I don't think I have an unlock command. Is that a handy one? I can always set up more commands. I like little commands. But thank you to Snickle and Johnny for the fixing my silly problem advice. Sitting in chair comfy? I mean, that's fair enough. Soaking? I suppose I'm used to having like a myriad of fabric cushions around me, so that seems quite detrimental. But if it's a chair that is resistant to water, I suppose that's quite acceptable. As long as you're not like dripping on anything important. Make sure to save the scene? How do you save the scene? Oh. Save scene. I get so confused only to reveal once I ask the question I immediately know the answer. You can just do Control S as well. That would be so much easier. That is good point, yes. It isn't? Hazardous and reckless behavior. Get a towel! In the next part, we'll add a script to the player node to move and animate it, then we'll set up collision detection. Ooh! Okay, let's go. I'm nervous about this. Is it gonna try and make me use C? Is there a version of this in Python? You have to specify to make something a scene, otherwise it's just nested nodes. Okay, that makes sense. I suppose a scene is a specific save type of structure, whereas a nested tree of nodes is innately just the format of node interaction. Yeah. I was just incorrectly associating labeling a group of nested nodes as a scene when that's not necessarily the case. That's a way to call a group of nested nodes. I think the words I said made sense, but someone will have to double check. The caffeine's wearing off, and now I can no longer form sentences. It's the unfortunate the life expectancy of an overly caffeinated VTuber. There we go. You got a little Kamuji the way around. Are you going to add in chair, this chair, soken and unsoken? I fear I don't have enough caffeine, but I can't say I understand the functionality of those. Is this to track whether or not you should be carrying a towel with you? I need more caffeine, but Turquoise and Jake and Toad will tell me off. The full moon? I'm kind of excited for the red moon, although I was very grumpy to find out it was because of dust. I thought there was going to be some cool, like, space gaseous space phenomenon that caused it, but dust just feels ominous. I don't like air pollution. Okay. To do so, we need to add some. Oh, coding the player. In this lesson, we'll add movement, animation, and set up to detect collisions. To do so, we need to add some functionality so that we can get it from a built-in node. So we'll add a script. Click the player node and click the add script button. Attach script. I misread it. I've called it player base instead of player because I nested it inadvertently, so that's okay. In script window, you can leave the settings alone and just click create. I should probably have spent more time looking at it, but yep, sure. Start by declaring the member variables the object will need. Okay. I 2D and then export fast speed 400. That feels fast. I don't think I move at 400 pixels a second. Do I? I don't know. Don't know, you're super smart, so which came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm gonna give a morphologically silly answer, but the egg. Because there will have been other creatures that were born out of an egg before we evolved to have a chicken. So an egg can be associated with many species, but a chicken is a specific form, and it wasn't the first point on its evolutionary tree, so we'll have had eggs ages before we have chickens. Which came first, the chicken or the chicken egg, is a more ambiguous question. And one which I have similarly unhelpful answers for. This seems like an older tutorial. Yeah, I had a quick look for which one to go with, but this was just the official documentation, so I'm a teeny bit surprised it's not up to date. But yeah, this was commented as being surprisingly good for the official one. So I should keep some of my stupid thoughts up tonight. Stupid thoughts are interesting though. Stupid thoughts lead to good anecdotes. Which came first, the chicken or the chicken egg? Now I thought I quite precisely said, don't ask me which came first, the chicken or the chicken egg. I'd still say the chicken egg. Yeah, I'd still say the chicken egg. Because, I mean, silly and unphilosophical categorization, but for something to be identifiable as a chicken, there has to be an arbitrary point where you no longer class it as part of one group and instead as the other. And the first point where we would have suitable genetic markers to be identified of that would have been when it was in egg form to later grow into a chicken. Similarly unhelpful answer, but you know. I think I just like eggs. That might be my bias. Chickens are cool, but eggs more so as a food to have on toast rather than a means of more chickens. I want scrambled eggs now. But then talking about chickens after and then saying I want scrambled eggs feels really quite barbaric. I'm gonna get back to Gerda. Okay. GD script? Ooh, are we doing this in GD script? Okay, that'll be fun. I don't want to use C. So, using the export keyword on the first variable, speed allows us to set its value in the inspector. This can be handy for values that you would to be able to adjust, like a node's built-in properties. Click on the player node and you'll be able to see the property now appears in the inspector in a new section with the name of script. Okay, so... Am I gonna make comments? Yeah, look at me go. I'm gonna make typos in my comments. That was always gonna happen. I mean, it's less barbaric than feeds a chicken egg. Oh! Is there nice at scrambled eggs or me actually making comments? To be fair, if I ever write anything that's over 100 lines of code and not relatively simple, I do make comments. But if I'm just like writing a select statement that joins between a bunch of like silver and gold medallion tables, I don't think I need to write comments on that unless there's something wacky going on, unless I'm having to do specific weird exclusions or case statements or some ugly lag. I think it's fine. If you have to go to some grim raw tables, then you make comments, even just to give a brief description of how the table should work, in case you go to change the query one day and it no longer works the same. Imagine. The player is going to go for 100 pixels per second. Gonna be Newman. Because I have... I wanted to move quickly so you could see it like as a representation of Newman, but because I don't have OBS open, I can only see myself move with lag, and so I didn't realize I was moving out of motion and instead just jerking from side to side. But you're gonna be Newman. I'm very entertained by the fact that I can move so much. Everyone say thank you, Ari. Newman. Okay, anyway. Maybe I'm still caffeinated. Maybe it's not the caffeine that's the problem. It looked like Danielle was doing the rat dance. What's the rat dance? Everyone's saying thank you, Ari! Oh my gosh, you're all so cooperative today. Normally when I ask you to do something, you just say, haha, cat. This is delightful. Maybe I need to be caffeinated and get distracted from coding more often. Warning, if you're using C# to rebuild the project assemblies whenever you want to see the new expo variables, this build can be manually triggered by clicking the build button at the top right hand of the editor. I can't see that in the editor. But I'm assuming that's just not there unless you use C#. Cut? I'm getting called cat in ways that avoid the butt. Thank you for the hi day, Ducky. Thank you, thank you. So the C version? Okay, okay. I've given up on saying the sharp, we're just gonna call it C for now. And someone's gonna tell me off, but it's fine, because I can't write in any of them. Your player script should now already contain a ready and process function. If you didn't select the default template shown above, create these functions while following the lesson. Okay. So is this if I go to the player and then ready and process function? Why is it expecting to find these? Am I being silly? So filter properties, so it would be here, player base. But we only have the speed, we don't have the other two. Speed, area. When you create the script, it gave you a choice. Oh, when it said to click create and not look at the options, was I in fact not on the standard options? You might have picked the blank template. Okay. As per Daniel's advice, I'm taking a shower now. Okay, nice. Hopefully the shower water is more pleasant than the rainwater. Thank you for hanging out, Ducky. Just like Python from Glady. Yeah. I'm kinda... What if there's something else that I've messed up by not using the way? I need a hoover! Oh my gosh. Sorry. Itchy nose. Hay fever. Wouldn't... I mean, GDScript's supposed to be similar like Python. Would you just do export, set the variable, and then equal to... What do you set the ready and the... Oh, define them as functions? Okay. But Swida? Oh, is this like a way of saying bless you? Oh, it is. Wait, that's interesting. It's always an interesting language trait when a word that doesn't have a set definition, but you have the same social practice that have evolved with entirely separate words in different languages and cultures. It's very fun to me. It's just an interesting phenomenon. No, I said it correctly the first time. Phenomenon. Maybe not the second time. Do I want to panic and restart the script even though it's probably fine and I can just define them? Yes. Ah. That was okay because it's on the... Yeah, that'll be fine. For some reason, no matter what I do, I cannot get Windows 10 to stop sending me notifications. But but that's okay, because it's on the other monitor. I want to sneeze again! I feel like I should have an allocated number of sneezes per hour, and I feel like I'm significantly over it. Let me just apply really quickly. Ah. Do I just... is it just... It's fine. Everyone says it's like Python, so if I just go... Oh! I know I'll type. It was ready? Ready. Ready to void feels ominous. I'm just gonna... Oh wait, we can just declare with the properties in straight away, it'll be fine. Ready, and then I can do good nesting practice. People to react dot size bish bash bosh. Did I add an extra S? No? You need to allocate more time for me to meander through thinking what I'm gonna type next before you give me an ominous red bar. Process is called every frame, so I'll use it to update the elements for a game, which you'd expect to change very often. Okay. I feel less calm about defining the process. Now I can use the process function. What do you define it as? You have 2 tabs of indents? Oh. I like having excessive indentation because it's easier for me to skim read, but that's fair. What was the auto thing it suggested before, declaring it to void? I've spelled it wrong. Process delta float to void? That seems suitable. In that it just defines the existence of the process function and some variable that goes into it, and it's not defined yet. Expected intent function declaration. The void just means this function can return any kind of value. Yeah, but that's what I would have assumed, but then how do I just declare it as a placeholder for now? No? When am I? First we need to check the input. Is the game person? Oh, you can just use pass. Okay. Is it happy with that? Have I broken anything? I don't think so. I wasn't sure how much I could steal from Python. Okay, nice. Entirely unnecessary panic. Who could imagine? I was just like, this feels like weird formatting for it to just be written as undeclared, but given the semicolons, but steal everything. Theft is bad. You shouldn't steal books from the library. They're free. You can borrow them. You just need to promise to give them back. You can take them out for months at a time. You just need to let people know when you plan to return them. What is this noise in a JavaScript? Hi, this is confusion. As for why it's not JavaScript, be worse. It could be MATLAB, okay? It could be MATLAB. Just be grateful it's not MATLAB. This is my response to everything. The vaccine is too much, Lorena? No. It's okay. It's okay. I panic. Confusion? That's something I'm well versed in. It's a vital part of learning things. It's one of the fundamental steps, I would say. Hi, Karbath. How you doing? At least it's not C or C++. It's fine, it's fine. When it says, oh, you could do this in C, we just ignore and go, oh, thank goodness, that's not me. So, let's see. Next part. Now we can use the process function to define what the player will do. Process is called every frame, so we'll use it to update elements of our game, which we will expect to change often. For the player, we need to do the following. I realize that this is just me and the fact that I have been staring at overnight jobs to get them to run faster, but the fact that something is called every frame and not called conditionally on certain activations feels intensive, but I don't know if because of the structure of things it's more intensive to do the logic gate of whether or not it should be run than to just consistently run it. But this is unnecessary thought for the level of confusion I am experiencing. Getting the AI to fix bugs in a second. No. You see, wait, it's not called Gemini, what is it? Genie, I think? Genie fills out all my all my function names or everything I've declared, but I try and ask it to write something on its own and it just cries. I don't trust AI. I don't trust myself either, but at least when I get something wrong I can explain what I've done wrong. Hey slime? Wait, we got an alliteration? I'll see your device. Oh, wait! People are providing me with puns. I need to make notes of these. I like I'll see your demise. I'm gonna steal that one. There are functions that run on certain conditions, but that's for later. Okay. I'm glad that's something that there's structure for existing. That I don't have to do fancy things to set up. I switched to on first try, had to fix errors twice, much better than ChatGPT did. Oh, which one's this? Do you mean like switch to a different AI assistant or just doing it yourself? Oh heck, I was never here. Oh, although I was never here, but I would like to spontaneously say thank you very much for the 78 bits. Thank you. I type Claude. Oh yeah, I tend to not use AIs as coding assistants because if I do it too much, I feel my brain melt, and I spend enough time in front of screens. I don't want to accelerate my brain melting, but it can be really handy for if you've been given someone else's project and it's not documented. Throwing something into like Claude and removing the table names and just being like, hi, approximating the names for the structure, can you explain what's happening here so I don't have to read through 2,000 lines of code to find the correct 2 lines to change? But yeah, it's a Claude Sonnet that's the really good one. I love reading the benchmark papers even if I don't use them. I feel like that's the worst type of AI nerd. I'm not even too productive at work. I just enjoy reading about the training process. Well, it is probably the best one I've used so far. Yeah, I'm not too impressed by Genie, which is the Databricks integrated one, which is the one I use the most because that's where I do a lot of my work. But I asked my Copilot if it thinks you supplement your streamer diet with what's this? With all those long words. It could help balance your... I take vitamins if that's the question. I've got them on my desk so I don't forget them. I got the magnesium and vitamin B complex ones, and I got the omega D3 complex ones, and then I've got the cod liver oil ones. And you just have to take the last 2 very quickly because they are some of the worst tasting vitamins known to man, but they're really good for you, so... contrary to popular belief, I don't take vitamin D supplements because I do go outside. And I get to bed now, boss. Gotta be up in 7 hours. Toad, go to bed. Good night, good night. Think you got hanging now. Go sleep. Skeletons need rest too. What on earth are these words? If I search, are they gonna be a shenanigan? No clue. Well, now I don't want to. Oh, for goodness sake. Do you remember 20 minutes ago when I said everyone should say thank you to Ari, and everyone was so nice and cooperative and said thank you to Ari? Where has that energy gone? Where has that divine and restful, peaceful period of like 2 minutes vanished off to? Toad, I think you should stay awake and read books and stay up late reading. Yes. Yes, I have done the reverse prompt engineering, one might say. How will the mod respond? Crashes in and throws a potato. Is it cooked? Can I have like a roast potato? I kinda wanna. Oh no, I want potato. It's too late in the day to make a roast potato, isn't it? It's a roast potato! I'm hoping it's in tin foil so it doesn't like splatter, but thank you very much. Will do. Well, that's just contrarian. Actual shenanigans? Restful nap? I got no clue, I'm sorry. Thanks for the spud. I always forget that spud can be used for potato. I wonder where spud comes from as a term. Thank you for the pat sound. Oh wait, manual pats. I remember. It's never too late to rip potatoes. I don't know if I actually have any potatoes in at the moment. I have like, are they called waffles? I think they're waffles, like the big potato ones where they're in like a lattice. I got waffles. I got processed potatoes. I don't have any like potatoes from the earth. I'm growing some potatoes, but they're not ready yet, so... Waffle fries? I don't think this is waffle fries. When I have waffle fries at like takeout places, they're much smaller, but these are kind of 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter waffle. More substantial. And they've got holes in them with a grid. If I'm being fancy and organized, I'll cook one of them, fry an egg, and then put like a half a can of, you know, Heinz beans and cocktail sausages. I'll put half a can of that on top, and it's as if I was fancy and made a full English, except I wasn't. That's the dream Saturday morning breakfast. It's short for spuddock, which is a fictitious name for potato. Now I'm inclined to believe that Toad lies to me in chat, but this feels like an anecdote of obscure knowledge which also feels very in character for Toad to know. I'm tempted to believe this, as irresponsible as it may be. Of course it's beans, the British putting beans on things. I mean, if you're gonna have a full English, you gotta have beans, right? And that's the primary method of waffle consumption, in my knowledge. I know you can have dessert waffles, but I've never had one of them, and it's my understanding they have slightly different potato combination. I have long felt the beans, like pork and beans, should be a side all alone. I am of the strong opinion that all of my food should be served to me in separate little bowls so I can combine it as well, but I don't think that's like a food thing, and I think that's just the autism. But that's a me issue. I just don't want my foods to touch. I want to be able to choose if they overlap. It's why I love little side plates. It's so fun. What does fictitious mean? Okay, but I read that as someone created a fictitious name for a potato in some cultural aspect, and it was adopted, and therefore spud became known to be the term, which would explain why it's an informal way of describing it, because it came across as a joke term. People regularly make up mocking names for things, and then they get adopted into the lexicon. It means I made it the heck up. I thought I got an anecdote I was gonna be. Why? Grumpy now. Waffles with butter and maple syrup. That does sound good, but I think I just like butter and maple syrup. That failed when writing a script and accidentally deleted Systems 32. Now that sounds like you should go work at CloudStrike. Then you're so picky on food? I'm a lot less picky than I used to be. Also, hello, Suffolk. Welcome in. I hit Jim Manuel. Classic? I think we should define a new classic, which is you all tell the streamer interesting anecdotes and are wholly truthful with your responses in chat. I feel when Findle never got adopted. What's this? Butter toast is Esther? I love when, is it called French toast, where you just have a really thick slice of fluffy bread and cover it in butter and egg? That is optimum use of foods. It's just a good combination. Go to bed, Toad. Sleep well. Don't go to bed, Toad. Good tidings, good partings, good day, evening, night. Do make sure to get some sleep. Thank you so much, hanging out. Butter, egg, and cinnamon? Wait, I've not had butter, egg, and cinnamon as a combination. Findle was a children's book where a boy attempts to be named a pen to Findle as a point of made-up names. Oh, that's fun! After asking Claude about it, AI is always disappointed when asked anything about Armor, like plot details or anything. Oh, is this the game, Armor? I haven't played any of them. I know there's a few of them by now. Dude, behave! Do you know that I've learned how to use mod view? I can unban people in OBS. I don't even have to open the browser. I'm too powerful. But please still don't do it, I'll panic. Johnny, no. Can I see how they lie? Yeah. I still haven't read the Apple paper. That's gonna be interesting. It feels so strategic, but I'm still interested in reading it. Alma was a military school book by John Steakley. He served in the 10th Army in Vietnam. Oh, interesting. Military sci-fi book. I don't know why I read that as school book. My dyslexia was... Just imagine the word dyslexia in capital letters, but also spelled wrong. What is an ad? Oh, I'm sorry, you're stuck in ad jail. Toad, I got so stressed for like 2 seconds until I realized there was a timeout. Oh my goodness. Are you happy now, Johnny? Are you back now, I assume? No. Okay, I should stop getting distracted. Okay. I managed to fix the fact that I didn't declare the script correctly, and we now have a process and are ready. And maybe we'll define the process at some point. Dyslexia in capital letters but misspelled into lowercase. I don't like capital letters. I know I go on this tangent at least once a week, but it is outrageous that I had to learn one letter-based alphabet, let alone 2, and they're not even correlated to each other. Like, lowercase o and capital O are not equivalent to the difference between lowercase a and capital A. Uppercase capital letter O looks like someone just got overzealous when writing an O, and then Q as a capital letter looks like capital O, and I have strong opinions about this. I don't like capital letters. Yeah, okay, I don't like capital letters. I do everything in lowercase. It makes me feel content. It makes it easier for me to skim read things. Meowdy? What are we meowing about? was I up to? Okay, so yeah, for the player, we need to check for input, move in the given direction, play the appropriate animation. First, we need to check the input. If the player is pressing a key for this game, we have 4 direction inputs to check. Am I gonna get messed up by only having a 60% keyboard and have to use atrocious input commands? Probably. Input actions are defined in the project setting under input map. So that's project settings. Input devices? No. General input map. There we go. Just me to get lost when navigating to something. I read a sci-fi book last summer by a Vietnam vet, and it's a weird amalgamation of Dune, James Bond, and Asimov. That sounds like a kind of wild combination. It was interesting but needed way more building for its James Bond sections. That sounds quite compelling. Although, I feel like given the complexity of the world of Dune, I'm surprised it's the James Bond part that wasn't fleshed out enough. Unless it was the case of build one and not allow enough time for the other. 11 more? Holy moly. One day after I finished my to-do list and I've propagated all the plants that need propagating and I've finished learning godot and finished building a game and finished remembering how to use Python, then I will fight a bug. But in the meantime, I just make plans. The tabs. In my head, I read that in the cadence of the pipes, in terms of the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. I should have caffeine less, I think. When do we add the cheese? I mean, next time we do a stream for this, it seems like the file formatting is a lot easier than I imagined, so I can probably draw some scuff little images in Krita for the different frames and stuff, and we can have the mouse, the cheese, and cats that are gonna be my scuff doodles. Suddenly remember the week anecdote. I woke up dreaming of a song that doesn't exist. Tried playing it on the browser piano, and it turned out to be mostly black keys like cheap on the May theme. So far as streaming music goes, this one is fairly unoriginal. Oh wait, that's kind of interesting. To think that to be able to replicate something and to follow a pattern. Whoa, that's kind of cool though. Am I the player? What does that mean? I won the jump catch game. It's because I'm extra tall and cool. Sorry, I'm obligated to say that whenever it happens. First, we need to check for input. I'm very good at not getting distracted. If the player is pressing a key for this game, we have 4 direction inputs to check. Okay, and the input map. So we have it here, and add new action. No, right. I'm so tempted to call left move wrong. I'm so unhelpful, but I want to do it. I think it would be fun. Okay. Oh, I can feel my brain getting sleepy. Why did Twitch have to be down for like an hour? I wanted more time to yap. Okay. So we add it. There isn't anything else I need to do, so this is fine. I want to add up to 0.5 dead zone. And then click plus. Filter inputs. Listening for input should automatically be selected. Yep. Press the right key on your keyboard. Keyboard keys. I'm afraid I don't have a right key, so I'm just gonna go for like last movement. Not delete. If I scroll far enough, will it give me the full numbers? The full... Okay. D physical. There we go. Just press D. When I did that, it skipped to delete because it goes for the prioritized keys first. I demand royalty for likeness. Player grey. Delete. Delete seems scary. I'm assuming you don't need to do anything else. You can just... Okay. Look at us go. Now I just gotta do it 3 more times. I really want to call it move wrong for moving left. I'm so unhelpful. Okay. There we go. I know it's only funny to me, but I enjoy giggling to myself. It I like it. Okay. I know I can't use the excuse anymore because I've had this keyboard for over a year, but I swear the key spacing is so much closer together than my old keyboard, so whenever I put my hands down to blind type, I just get any of the keys on the right side of the keyboard one out, consistently. Every time. I've not learned to adapt again. There we go. Hey! Click the close button. I like the fact that you don't have to save each element before moving on from it. That's nice. No! I'll change it back to being the normal name if you sulk. This is who I am. You can detect whether a key is pressed using input is action pressed, which returns true or false. If pressed, if isn't. Okay, press this done. If our velocity is vector 27. Okay. So we have the existing movement being set to 0, and then you define it just as a if tree. If length is greater than 0, velocity normalized times speed. Oh! Okay, so it's accounted for increasing speed as you hold it for longer? That's fun. I like that. Surely it should have a... Wait, am I being silly? Oh, I know, never mind, I am being silly. It just passes the variable. I remember things. Let's pull lefties. I'm ambidextrous, I'm kind of one of you. You want more keys on my keyboard? Give me more keys. Give me a Chinese keyboard so I can have more. There isn't even more because of how they're constructed. Oh, I imagine this is one people have saw because it has millions of views, but there is an incredible video essay on the origins of different keyboards for writing out character-based alphabets. Absolutely incredible. I can try and find it and put it in the information channel in the learning part of Discord server. I just want a classic IBM keyboard. Wait, what's an IBM keyboard? I don't know if I actually know that. Is it just got like a little touchpad circle in the middle or something? I didn't give my old touchpad enough credit. ThinkPad. Am I being silly, or is this just a more segmented 100% keyboard? Oh, no! It's missing the Windows and the function key on the right hand side, is that? Interesting. I told Macro enthusiasts just get a bunch of keyboards and plug them in. I do have 2 keyboards in front of me, if that counts. but one of them's attached to my work laptop because I hate laptop keyboards. And if you use your left to throw things, knives, shuriken, darts, I can pinky promise that every time they see I've thrown a knife or a shuriken, if it has been thrown, it has been thrown with my left hand. Does that count then? One of my Alessa friends had a long conversation where we researched old printers and coded Chinese characters. It's really interesting. Wait, this isn't entirely related, but tangentially similar. Before Braille was adopted as the major written format for people who had vision impairments or were blind, there was an earlier version which I think it was called Moon Type, which was first created, and it just existed of a simplified, like shape-based Latin alphabet, which was constructed of the same major keystrokes as would be present on a traditional keyboard and could be constructed from them. And it was used for several years before Braille became widely spread and was created in another area. But it ended up not being adopted because it took a lot longer to type out, because there was never a key setting for it that was widely adopted, and so Braille ended up becoming much faster to type, and so became largely adopted. And I believe Moon Type is functionally extinct as a language, ? I don't know if a written representation of a language counts as a separate language, but very interesting. I throw them with either hand, poorly, but I'm gonna be honest, if someone was really good at throwing knives, I think I'd be more concerned. Although it depends if I'm in the way when they're throwing the knife poorly. I'd rather not be present with knife throwing. I'm more for book reading sort of activities. Darts at a push. What was I doing? Okay. Rename after key teach action. Okay, so now we can define the process function. Don't beep at me. It automatically taps and I forget that. So we need to declare the velocity first. Oh, we need to allocate the velocity. But what? I'm not sure where the vector... Is it just called vector 2 because it's in 2 dimensions? I was just like, where's vector? If this is just an automatic name, why is it not vector or vector 1? Imagine I'm doing the tapping on the head meme thing where I know. But it took me a minute. I have a woman in my DMs non-stop these days. They're all listing my profile. Wait, what's this? This Daniel will be your game studio's name. Choosy Interactive. House Small Studio. Bookworm Games. Whoa. Can it be couplets incorporated? That way I can outsource all the work to you guys. And Vector 3 is for 3D. I got a big brain. Oh, I forgot to. Why must it be uppercase? Boo. Does it need to be input event, or can it just be input as a standalone? It's not liking autofilling this. It can't be case sensitive. I don't like how this is looking at me. Expected. Oh, well that's silly. It feels like the editor gets annoyed at you for being in progress when writing on this. Unless I'm doing something wrong. Syntax. Have I gone on autopilot and done what have I done? I've autopiloted to something, haven't I? Oh. No? Is that not what's messing things up? Let me go back. Wait. This is what I get for just looking away. If input, have I spelled? Wait. It's case. Every day I'm lucky to not work with case sensitive things. Whoa. Input as a class name? That doesn't mean I like it. I once again don't like that uppercase letters exist. I realize this is a personal issue and not actually helpful, but I still think it. Classes a Pascal case? I'd rather they weren't. Action present. Is action press? Move. I'll do a space. I'll keep consistent formatting. Do I agree snake case is the one trick case? Yeah! I like snake case. It's just easier for me to read. Do I see a memory leak? Probably. My memories constantly leak. I know that's not the shenanigan, but it's true enough, I shall repeat. Back 4 is usually for shaders? I'm emotionally reflecting on whether or not I consider shaders a dimension, and I think the answer is no. Shading is not just like a tesseract. That's... Don't like that convention. The text is small, but I assume you're working in GTscript? Oh wait! Because of how I haven't changed the... Let me shuffle... Let me shuffle the window over here. So the typing bit is visible again. Sorry, I hadn't realized it was overlapping. Wait, are the instructions readable at all? I'm gonna full screen my own stream. Okay, that's vaguely legible. I feel like that's about as scuff as I usually am. That can be accepted. High standards I hold myself to. In GDScript, it's meant to be simple and unintimidating, but with my experience with languages, I feel like it's both visually unclear and annoyingly quirky. It is close enough to Python that if I panic and just do something on instinct, it seems to have worked so far. Which is kind of good, kind of bad, but we'll see, we'll see. Does process on an infinite loop? You can just control plus one liner? And what do you mean? Once per frame? Yeah. My brain's smooth, I got distracted. Let me return to my... There has to... I look forward to the time when I like lose the toddler training wheels and I can find the way to do things more efficiently. Move down. We can do that one next. Look, we're being chaos incarnate. We're doing it in a different order. Does that mean the velocity gets allocated every frame? Or is it the same pointer and it just reallocates the vector? I don't actually know how that... Wait. If velocity is a property... like training wheels, just takes a few crashes to get to the next level. Just a few. Hopefully nothing major. Hopefully you don't need to build a new bike again. I would assume from the structure of it that it's just... I will say, when I first glanced at this, I was like, oh, that's cool. It means the longer you hold something down, the longer that it has like some function of acceleration built into it. But no, it just sets to 0 every time. Big sad. I don't know. I like acceleration. You gotta go fast. This is not true. I like going at a very, very reasonable pace. But here we are. Move up. Whoa! No comments here. Review velocity. Have to see about some dinner. Have enjoyed watching stream. Oh, thank you, godot. Enjoy your dinner. I hope you have some good food. Wait, if you have now left, can I be nosy and ask what's for dinner? I always think it's fun to ask what people are eating. Normally I get distracted by potatoes, but curiosity, you know. It's only dangerous for cats, not mice. Oh, godot, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the library. Thank you, thank you. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you enjoy your dinner. I assume it just diverts velocity since it's a tutorial, but it's funny you can also waste memory by just dealing as a code. Yeah. Stack allocated? Yeah? Yes, maybe. Who knows? If velocity length is greater than 0, velocity is velocity normalized and should play else. Oh, okay, so that's just a check of if any movement is occurring. Velocity length. Yes, that makes sense. Sorry, it took me a minute. Took me a minute whilst I was being grumpy with it, but that makes sense, I think. Yeah. Wait, no. No. Velocity. Why aren't you autofilling on the one difficult to spell word? I've once again forgot what the function keys do on my keyboard that I've had for a year. I once again forgot. Number 7. Oh, good spot, good spot. Where did the screen size come from? Okay, this is what I get for this. This is why I think that you should have like Control Enter to be accept autofill. It can't be Shift Enter because that's what I like to use for 1, not F5. But I don't know. I don't like Enter as accept autofill because then it leads to fiasco. I assume the normalized function just makes movement speed the same in every direction, so you don't move faster if you move up and right at the same time. That would make sense, yeah. To just account for simultaneous inputs. I suppose it's unfair for me to assume a can't process 2 inputs per frame. Should be -1 on line 15. Should it? And +1. Wait, down is up and up. Wait, directions? Move up. Oh wait, well I'm missing the sign here, so that's an issue, but wait, why would I did not look at that. I just assumed that down is negative and up is positive. Y-axis is flipped. Why is the y-axis flipped? Who did that? Why did they do that? To confuse me? It's flipped. Why? When you work with gravity? I don't like that. Can I unflip it? I don't want it to be flipped. That makes no sense. Why is gravity a positive force? Gravity. I don't enjoy that sentiment. I'm too sleepy to explain why I dislike it, but I have a visceral negative reaction, as I think we've all just observed. Like, as an attractive force, I understand why it would. No. Something about the. No, don't approve of that one. Get back to me in like 2 to 3 business days and I'll have a response. But that doesn't sit right with me, I don't think. Okay. Why is... no. Gravity. How does it work? Magnets. How do they work? Sorry, okay. Sleepy. We start by setting the velocity to 0, 0 by default. The player should not be moving. Yep. And we check each input and add or subtract the velocity to obtain total direction. If right and down are held at the same time, the resulting velocity vector will be 1, 1. Perfect. In this case, we're just adding the horizontal and vertical movement. If the player would move faster diagonally, then it just moved horizontally. Oh, okay, that's not what I read normalized as doing. If I'm just lazy and I say I read this as Pythagoras, do people understand what I mean? I worked a long day, and it's long when it wasn't even like writing SQL. I had to do so much stakeholder management. Okay, I'm glad it made sense. Oh, hi Sperm. Oh, thank you for saying thank you. Good manners is always good. Yeah. Big thank you to Sonic. I'm tired too. Oh, sleepy hair. I need to find my nail file. My nails have gotten remarkably square over the last week. It's not very oval. Okay. The player would move faster diagonally than if moved horizontally. I imagine it's going to subsequently explain how normalized is used to account for that. We also check whether the player is moving, so we can call the player stop animation to match. Yep. Is a shorthand for get node, so in the above code is the same as get node. Yep. In GDScript, this returns a node at the relative path from the current node, or returns null. I assume that just means path is in like location within the scene. If a node is not found, since animate sprite2d is a child of the current node, we can use animate sprite2d. Is that saying instead of searching for the parent node, we can use the like subnode, the child node? I don't know why that would be more reliable, but I can accept that as a thing that would be done. I have a funny story. Oh, what's the story? I have the instinct to go, what's the story in Balamori, what's the story today? But I fear that no one will understand what I'm yapping about. If you set and then press both up and down at the same time, the character will move in the direction of this last code. Wait, does it not do combined inputs? Isn't that what this is accounting for in the normalized section? I should make a game engine where the y-axis is 66 degrees away from the x and y just as a social experiment. I don't know if I would encourage that. My instinct in terms of social experiment is just releasing the fork of something, but instead of using degrees, you just put it in radians to confuse people. It just functions exactly the same. You just have to enter it relative to pi, and everyone gets stressed. And then they get the joy of learning maths. You trick them into learning maths. I do think radians are better than degrees, though, but pi is cool. More people should see less abstract uses of pi. Godot gives functions to convert radians to degrees. No, my evil scheme has been thwarted. I can't believe it. Who could have seen this coming? I'm not very good at being evil. Okay. If the node returns the node of the relative path in the common node, or returns a null if the node is not found. I feel like if the parent node isn't found, then the child node wouldn't be found either. But maybe I'm thinking too broadly. Maybe I don't understand the structure. Truly. I can try to scheme on occasion. Now we have a movement direction, we can update the player's position. We can also use clump to prevent it from leaving the screen. Oh, is this the accursed thing that's used to not let me mouse out of windowed programs? Full screened programs, rather. Yes, but the reason it's all separate ifs is in using plus or minus is to combine simultaneous inputs movements. So you could move makes sense if you press more than one key. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Is there not a way to account for simultaneous inputs on a combined line? I feel like there must be. I feel like I could account for it in Scuf Python, which I feel I am not known for writing one-line functions, but I feel like it could just be done with like parallel Python thingies. Today I felt a bit hungry for biscuits, as you should. Biscuits are delicious, so I ordered 6 packs of 2 kinds. I was so used to high prices that I didn't realize it wasn't 6 pieces, it was 6 portions, so I got 6 times 4 biscuits of 2 different flavors, in total 48. Wait, how big are the biscuits? I mean, if you didn't notice the prices, that sounds like a great deal. Maybe I have the wrong takeaway, maybe I should be more concerned about biscuit consumption, but that just sounds like good economics. Biscuit stocks go up, that sounds great. I've been craving biscuits, but my favorite kind haven't been in stock at the big discount supermarket, so simply interpret the rules. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yep, that does make sense. Whenever I read something, I have to just be like, that makes sense as a word sentence, and now if I make it a logic sentence, it also makes sense. It's the joy of being confused. The size of ping pong balls? That's manageable. I could get that sorted in the small amount of time. I say that I still haven't finished my lunch, but I made myself a very large lunch, and I'm under the weather, so It's good I ate big lunch. There's only a little bit left. I have leftover broth because I made myself ramen from scratch for dinner yesterday, since I wasn't streaming and I had time to cook. So I just did instant ramen for lunch today, but used fancy broth instead of the pre-made one, and it was nice. I even went to farmer's market thing, but like not posh, just a guy with crates on the back of a truck selling vegetables on a local high street, to get a bunch of different types of mushrooms for, which was very nice. I still have 40 pieces. Wait, what do you mean pizza flavored cookie? No, we can't move on to suffering for success. We need to discuss that the cookie is pizza flavored. What is this profoundly American thing that you have introduced to me? Why is it not chocolate flavored? Sorry, I meant 20? The number isn't the issue. Why is the cookie pizza flavored? In what sense is it pizza flavored? Do I need to expand my horizons? Do I not have sufficient cookie knowledge? What is this? Is it like Hawaiian pizza flavored cookie? I'm not American. I didn't assume you were, but when someone presents a food that is not traditionally pizza flavored, and it's pizza flavored, that sounds like an American food to me. I had pizza flavored biscuits before. Am I just missing out? You don't have thing flavored things in the UK? We do, but to the extent that we have like prawn cocktail flavored crisps. I've never seen prawn cocktail flavored biscuits. The wildest you get is you have ginger biscuits or cinnamon biscuits. I've never seen like a meal flavored biscuit. Well, maybe I'm just not being adventurous enough. I briefly worked in a grocery store that had freshly baked pizza donuts. Is that like a dough with tomato and cheese twisted inside into a donut? Or some other formulation of those ingredients? Do you vector move left, move right, move up, move down? Would that work as the entire declaration? Wouldn't you need to define the relative distance of movement, or can that be set as like a speed property? Pizza is cheese plus tomato, huh? That's fair. Much of a proper biscuit, that's the closest word I can think of. It's just tomato plus olive oil. But what about the cheese? Cheese is a fundamental component of any activity. What about the cheese? I feel strongly about this. What about the cheese? You... Sorry, I had to get big. I felt strong opinions. I don't know if I like the idea of cheeseless pizza. I think adding olive oil to more things is good though. I can support that part. Never born, it remains a mystery? Ooh. I've fallen into the rabbit hole of video essays debunking Reddit mysteries again, which is normally interesting and informative until there's anything like vaguely gory or spooky mentioned, and then I don't like it because of who I am. and then I need to watch the video because I'm a completionist. Normalized at the end would work? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can see that working. That does make sense. Yeah, I accept that. I like how I say that as if I'm the arbiter of truth, and whether or not it makes sense to me determines if it works, but I understand, I think. No cheese here? There are cheesy ones too and sweet ones, but I prefer the pizza ones? Interesting. I like pizza and I like biscuits, so I do feel like I'm missing out here, honestly. A sweet curd one was too? I love red bean flavoured things. I know that's probably not the same meaning, but they're very good. I wish there was more of them in, like, British supermarkets. I need to try and find my way to, like, a Turkish or international supermarket with with like an Asian food aisle to find them. Yum. There are marmalade ones too. I quite like marmalade. I think Twitch is censoring the code as if it's a link. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Or jam? Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I never quite understood the distinction between jam and marmalade. I feel like people with allotments are gonna be grumpy with me for that, but I don't... there seems to be some kind of linguistic trend that marmalade is for anything that isn't a berry, tentatively, but I would also associate marmalade with citrus. But then you can have rhubarb jam, which certainly isn't a berry. Rhubarb's very good. Rhubarb has grown well this year. I'm very excited. I was scared of growing rhubarb for years because I had misremembered the anecdote about how it can be poisonous and just assumed it was poisonous as a whole, which is very silly considering how often you see rhubarb as a flavour, but... Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense, so it's just censoring the input? My brain kind of sped right over that. This is the downside of dyslexia. This is why debugging is hard. I guess that is a cultural difference? That makes sense. Wait. It could be that they're made in slightly different methods if it's a cultural difference. Marmalade. I don't trust the AI overview. Marmalade is made from citrus fruits. And the peels or jam is typically made from non-citrus fruits. Okay. Interesting. It's another AI overview? I don't trust you either. This is a blog about vegetables run by a woman who has a banner of crocheted vegetable. I believe her. Stop showing me pop-ups. Oh, this is getting too fancy. You're telling me about chutney? No. This is wisdom beyond my realm. You're trying to sell me jam jars? Never mind, I don't trust you either. The internet is a wild and misleading place. Marmalade seems to require citrus fruits to be considered marmalade. That was my instinct, so I feel content in my knowledge regarding preserves. What about jelly? So to me, jelly is like the Hartley jelly. There isn't jelly as a preserve. Jelly is like a confectionery, like a sweet, a dessert. Here, I was thinking the Asterix was some weird space operator. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I just powered through with dyslexia and sleep deprivation. We used to have rhubarb pie from the garden. If you don't stuff it with enough sugar, it's sour and bitter. Whoa! I'm used to rhubarb being paired with something. Especially something that can have a slightly that has a kind of sweet and citrus palate. So, I don't know, you normally have it with quite strong flavours, don't you? So, blackcurrant and rhubarb is one I see quite a lot, or ginger and rhubarb. Or rhubarb and custard are the classics, I think. if it's not citrus enough, it's just sparkly jelly. Okay, I really appreciate the brackets meme, because I haven't been up to date with memes at any point in my life. I am now like 3 years behind on memes. I'm slowly catching up as they accelerate away from me. I know Le Poisson Steve now. Le Poisson Steve. Steve Le Poisson. I got it wrong, didn't I? I know Le Poisson Steve. I know of its existence. It's from the TikTok. I'm not a fan of any sweet jam, only the music. Oh, I love a good jam. Jam's nice. One of my coworkers gave me jam. It was very sweet. It's quite nice jam as well. They dramatically overestimated. I don't know why, but they seem to be under the impression the fruits reduce down in some kind of spinach adjacent way, where you get very little jam out of the input fruit. And so they had like 4 jars of jam to give away, which I was excited to receive one of. Okay, let's get back to the shenanigans. Let's finish this page. It's quite a long page. Let's finish this page. Okay. Where did we come from? Where do we go? Now, if we have the movement direction, we can update the player's position. You can also use a clamp to prevent it moving across the screen. Clamping a value means restricting it to a given range, and following to the bottom of the process function to make sure it's not indented under else. As in just go like this, unless I'm being silly? No? I mean, if you look... Oh... Would you call position? What's it called here? Is it position? Position! Position. I can never type. I feel like there's a better way to do this instead, using... Oh, there it is! It can be done using screen size. Okay. Zero to screen. That doesn't make intuitive sense how that's set up, but I believe it. Do I believe it? I don't think I do. I need to think about that for a second longer. So this is the story of how I got myself full of biscuits. It's a good story. I'd like to be the protagonist of a story like that someday. Maybe tomorrow. Yep. I'm not sure. I'm reading it in the guide, and so I accept it to be true. But... Is this... Is this setting up... Is it treating the positive and negative range as 2 separate axes? That's such a bad wording. But that's the only way this can make sense. Makes sense to me, because to set a... Wait. Do you see what I mean? Because to me, intuitively, this would work if you started at 0, 0, and there was no negative axes, but that's not the case. Am I making sense? I don't think I am. You do start at 0, 0? Yeah, but you can go to like -1, -1 is my issue. And so if you're setting 0 as the bounded area... No, it's starting to make sense. I was just thinking it as separate axes and like limits in the sense of a function rather than... Yeah, okay. Begrudgingly I accept this. Are you a fan of Python? Yeah? Yeah, I used to be a lot better at Python than I am now. I'm very rusty now. I'm very good at going PySpark, go! But Python is the first non-mathematical statistical language I learned. And I think it's pretty good as the first language to learn. I say that having not learned many, or not become too proficient in many. I kind of just narrowed in on all the database or statistics stuff I needed, and then got a job and didn't have time to do hobby programming anymore. But Python's nice. Notice that this tall. But I need to set up a soundboard because I'm not very good at sound effects. It would be better if I could imitate percussion, but alas. Oh wait, we have a tip. The delta parameter in the process function refers to the frame length, the amount of time the previous frame took to complete. Using this value ensures that your movements will remain consistent even if the frame rate changes. That makes sense. I like that. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Big mouse requires a big python? I was gonna pretend that I could get in a fight with a python, but that sounds quite unpleasant. I just live in the UK. We don't have big snakes here. We got like cute tiny ones. I will say, I'm always overjoyed whenever I haven't been there in quite a while, but if you go to somewhere like France, sometimes you just see a little lizard and it's very exciting because you don't get those too often in the UK. Sometimes you'll just see like a nice stone path that's warm and you'll see a little lizard sitting there and it's very satisfying to me. Oh, thank you for the pets, Phantom. Thank you. No, it's just me, Nose. It's okay, it's okay. I could win in a fight, right? Maybe. I didn't win in a fight against a debugger. I couldn't win in a fight against an actual python. I heard the UK has venomous spiders. I'm sure there may be a few hypothetically, but they're not common. We're not Australia. Oh, I'm quite sleepy. I feel like it's become too evident. And you accept. I'm gonna be reckless. In my heart of hearts, I heard you say I'm always in between when a tiny snake tries to eat me. To be honest, it is quite cute if you see like a tiny animal just try and like bite you uselessly. Like sometimes you'll be feeding a fish and they try and nibble your fingers. That is endearing. I can see that being something I say. I don't necessarily have the most survival instincts. I have grown foolish because of how tall I am. Hi Becky. I'm a mouse and everything. Thank you. How are you doing? Welcome back. Wait, are we dueling? I should be looking at Steam avatars, shouldn't I? Oh, this is close. Murdered in my own stream. Oh, scandalous. Okay. Oh, it's midnight. That's not ideal. I need to wash my hair after this. Okay. The meal popped. It's okay. I'm still in the corner. I'm sorry. It's okay, Phantom. I'm starting to feel like you were less equipped for this duel than I was, even though you won. Well, it's okay. It's okay. Midnight hair washing? Yeah. Okay, this is gonna sound really silly, but because I have a headset on for work, because I will have like Slack calls and stuff, and then I stream using a microphone that's attached to a headset, I feel like I can't wash my hair unless I'm not going to be either streaming or at work for the next 4 to 8 hours, because that's how long it takes for my hair to dry, if there's depending on the humidity and the temperature. And so I normally end up washing my hair before bed, because I stream whenever I have free time. So yeah, midnight hair washing. Can't gamble? You can. Are people gonna become addicted to slots again? I wouldn't recognize that. Time to adjust the polarities of something. Night night. Good night, Milty. I'm not sure I made sense of some of those, but thank you for hanging out and sleep well, sleep well. Oh, sloths are cute. Sloths are very cute. I enjoy the videos of when you have sloths in zoos, and the zookeeper's trying really hard to get the sloth to hold onto the tree, and they just refuse. It's very endearing to me. They just got their arms, and the zookeeper will hook the arms over, and as they bring the sloth, as they go back to reposition the sloth to take it to her weight, the sloth will just let go. They've just learned at some point that the zookeepers won't want them. I love them, they're so useless. Sloths are good. Okay. What was I doing? I think, position plus velocity. Oh. Yes, that makes sense. Sorry, it took me a minute. I was just like, but no, that makes sense because you could only decide the team first. What is this code that's being spoken? It's a tank. Of course, it's a tank. It's a War Thunder thing. What else did I expect? My Discord's being stupid? Oh no. If there's shenanigans, I can try and debug off stream. Maybe. Discord servers might still just be struggling, honestly. Discord historically is not the best at getting back off after issues. The delta parameter and the process function refers to the frame length. Yes, no, I read this. I just lost where it is up to because I may have got distracted, maybe. Click one command scene. Command R. Why is it telling me on Mac? I don't care about Mac. So, and confirm you can move the player and around the screen in all directions. Is this a run button? Is it? Will it be unhappy with me if I try and run it without a main scene? Maybe. So I got the starting position wrong. I've successfully bound the guy so they're within the frame. I feel like I need to do a relative update to the bounding within frame so they go so they only touch the edge rather than pass into it. But I don't know if that's too high a sensitivity requirement, so I would have to stop it here for the edge of motion. I'm not sure why I started off up here. That makes me think that I've got one of my inputs wrong. Let me skedoodle this window across so you can see it. Is that better? I appeared up here in the corner, but it's working. We're moving, we're grooving. It's the mail finding 101? Yeah. I figured that clicking generalized buttons are confusing, but if I just run the like the command, it'll pick the right one. Look at us go. I do need to. I don't know why in my head I'd accounted for the object. What's the word? The space associated with it. Thank you for the thoughts. The collision shape being included with when it hit the edge, but on reflection, considering I've just given it all the instructions, that makes complete sense that it wouldn't be. So I'd need to do something to account for it to the screen size minus the relative dimensions of the character from its like central track point. Okay, that feels doable. I feel like I'll do it scuff now if I try and do it, but that feels like a thing I can add to make it marginally different and fun. Don't worry about it now, but I love overthinking. It's up there with all top 10 pastimes alongside reading, napping, and getting distracted. It's fun. I just gotta get the ratio right. I will tell you what to do later. Boo! And now I thought I had an original thought, but I've been scammed. Okay. I do feel the need to double check if I was meant to spawn in on the top left hand corner, because I do feel like I've done something wrong there. I feel a bit silly about that. But this is satisfying. Sorry, I'm just wobbling about. No. I added an extra note for dramatic effect because it was more satisfying. Oops a daisy. It's the divine spawn? Okay. I was a bit confused because I assumed, potentially falsely, that with it being preset to... Oh no! It was the boss who was defined as 0. It wasn't... Interesting! Why does it define that as the starting point? Ba 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 ba. The corner 0, 0? Is it? I would have thought the central point was 0, 0. Is the corner 0, 0? Oh! I retract my earlier objections to the clamp statement. I misunderstood. Yeah, okay, everything makes sense now. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I just assumed we were using negative axes, so we were going from, and it was split with 0 being at the central point. I don't know why I assumed that. Probably in reference to how the 3D map is designed. I never considered that 0, 0 would be in the, yes, inverted, because gravity was, yeah. Okay, that makes complete sense. I'm happy now. Okay. You can see the axis values on the editor in this 2D view? Wait, where can I see that? I don't know why. I just assumed things would have negative axes. That's how graphs work. Do you know what I mean? That's how graphs work. Okay. I think there's a 2D tab. Oh! If I zoom out. Yep, 0, 0. That makes sense. Okay, and I can get back to script. Look at me navigating things. Oh, thank you for the hi, Ducky. Sorry I missed that. Drink, please. That's so polite. I feel like people... Yes, I hydrate. Not even a caffeinated hydrate, honestly. Okay. So... I feel I am getting too sleepy to do much more else, but I really enjoyed this, and I think I am gonna do another godot stream. I think for next time, it might not be next week and instead the week after next, because I need to do a study stream next week because I'm scheming. I'm doing plans for other content things. Ominous hand waving of pre-edited long form content coming in the still distant future, but I'm planning it and I'm getting excited about it. But thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna be sentimental for a second and be silly. I really appreciate how nice everyone was. One of the first times I streamed, I jumped into the programming and game dev category and just did lead code, mediums and hards, Python, because I was studying to do job interviews at the time, and randoms dropped in and were really rude, and I didn't stream for 2 months after. It was like the second time I streamed, and I've been scared to be in this category, even though I've done so many co-working streams since, and everyone's just been really nice, and I really appreciate it, and I continuously feel very lucky for how delightful you all are. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the hype train. That was also absolutely crazy. I will try and draw topical assets to use for the images for this next time, but Ellie is delightful and is very good at computer things, so let's go say hi to them. They're doing GeoGuessr. Goodbye. I yapped for too long. Goodbye.